Y'all, another thing I forgot to add to the next clip is that similar to the part 1 video, there will be a workout update at the end of this part 2 video and at the end of the part 3 video. All right, peace out. Hey y'all, in the next clip, you're going to hear me do my typical intro. This is really just a prelude to the video, just giving some commentary on what to expect in the video you're about to listen to and the next video that will be posted after the video you're about to listen to. So let me scroll down real quickly. Oh yeah, by the way, y'all, if you haven't checked it out already, check out my targeted individual taking a halometer test on camera video where you see me holding up the white thing that looks like a thermometer. That's me on camera, y'all. I haven't been on camera in a while, and I finally got a computer, so you will see more videos with me on camera. These next few videos you're about to watch, the one you're about to watch right now, and the next one I plan to post, which is going to be the part 3 to this video, they're not on camera. It's really just laziness, y'all. I didn't feel like putting myself together. I have braids in, as you can see in that halometer video, but the braids at this point now are kind of fuzzy. Not that bad, but I just didn't feel like putting myself together. But you will see me more often on camera, as I promised you. But if you want to see a recent video with me on camera, that's one right there. Anyway, let me continue. So y'all, this video that I posted 4 weeks ago that says the villainization of the targeted individual and workout update, this video you're about to listen to is going to be a part 2 to that video. It's not a continuation of that video, but it's the same theme. So again, just talking about the topic of the villainization of the targeted individual. So that's why you're going to see me title it Part 2, the villainization of the targeted individual. It's not a direct continuation of that video, but again, it's the same theme. However, the Part 3 video, to this Part 2 video, will be an actual direct continuation of the part 2 video, if that makes sense. So it's a 3-part video. I'm going to turn this, the villainization of the targeted individual and workout update video, into a part 1 video. This video you're listening to right now is going to be part 2. It's not a direct continuation of part 1, but it is the same theme, talking about the villainization of the targeted individual. The part 3 video will actually be a continuation of this part 2 video. Several things have taken place, y'all, over the course of the last week, and it took me long to make this part 2 video. And so at this point now, so many things have happened. If I sit here and try to share the content of everything that's taken place over the week that I want to document, this part 2 video will be hours long. It's already 2 hours and 15 minutes long, as you all can see, right? Or 2 hours and change long, as you can see. Once I add this clip on, it's going to be longer than 2 hours and 15 minutes. But yeah, I didn't want to continue on with this part 2 and it be this super long video. I try not to make these videos that are super long. I have a few of them on this channel, but I really try to keep the videos at a minimum of 2 hours long. I try not to make the videos any longer than 2 hours. Actually, the goal typically is an hour and a half. I try not to make anything longer than that. Hold on, y'all. I see this big loud truck driving up. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so I really try not to make the videos longer than an hour and a half. Of course, things happen. Videos, you can see most of my videos are typically 2 hours. That's like I would estimate the time frame for most of my videos. Some are longer, some are shorter. But I try not to do longer than 2 hours if possible. So that's why there's going to be a part 3, y'all. There's a lot to talk about that's taken place over the course of the last week. It took me long to finish the video, and so the longer it took, the more days passed and the more things happened that I wanted to document. And so that's why, I'm splitting up the video and making it like part 2, part 3, which will be, like I said, connected. The part 3 is a direct continuation of the part 2. The part 1 not connected to the part 2 and the part 3. It's just that it shares the same theme, again, of the villainization of the target. I'm not meaning to sound redundant, y'all. I just want to make sure things are clear, because I know I have so much content on my channel and so many part 1, part 2, part 3 videos. And so that's why it seems like I'm anal and I'm repetitive and I'm redundant with the things that I say in these videos. It's really just for clarity, because every day I'm getting new subscribers, y'all. I've come a long way from the end of 2022 when I first made the channel. For a target, the level of target that I have a lot of subscribers. I don't have a lot of subscribers, y'all. But again, I reiterate, for a target, at the level of target that I am, at the level, right, that I'm at, I have a decent amount of subscribers. I have 286 subscribers. So I've come a long way, and every day I notice, not every day, but like every time I look, I notice I get more subscribers. And so this is why I'm anal about being clear in every video that I create, because look at how many videos I have. I have 159 videos. So I want to make sure that things are clear, and you know where to look to hear certain information and to be up to date and know what I'm talking about, etc., etc. So that's what that's about. But anyways, I just wanted to add this little prelude or precursor to the video, right? Just so you can understand the parts and what's going on, and the part 1, the part 2, the part 3. So again, part 1, same theme. That's why it's part 1, but it's not connected to part 2 and part 3. Part 2 and part 3 share the same theme, and they're actually connected. Part 3 is a continuation of part 2. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Y'all, I meant to say that I try to keep the videos at a maximum of 2 hours long, not minimum. Minimum, I would say I don't have one. If the shorter, the better, really. If I could fit all the content in and have a short video, that would be amazing. But typically the videos at minimum are an hour and a half, at minimum, typically. There have been rare occasions where I've made videos that were shorter than an hour, but that's so rare. But at max, I try to make the video no longer than 2 hours long. Of course, there are videos that have exceeded that amount of time, but that's the goal typically for me. So anyway, that's what I meant to say, max, not minimum. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. In the next clip, you're going to hear me do my typical intro that I do at the beginning of all my videos. This is just a correction that I wanted to make really quickly. In that first clip, that next clip that you're going to hear of this video, you're going to hear me discussing serotonin, eating junk food, basically. How I've been recently eating a lot of junk. Y'all know I hit the gym consistently. I've shown you my results recently in several videos, and even in pictures that I posted to my community page. Excuse me. But I've been slipping up with my diet. Like, I've been obviously, bulking, as I've told you all, and I've successfully gained the weight that I was trying to gain. But some of it has been like dirty bulking is what it's called, when you bulk via junk food. And so you're going to hear me talking about that a little bit in the next clip. That's not what this video is about, but I do briefly mention that in the next clip, and I talk about the fact that the junk food makes me feel good. It's similar to alcohol or any other addictive thing, that people take. And junk food, like those other things, does, give you a boost of dopamine. It makes you feel good. And so I accidentally said serotonin and I meant to say dopamine. I do that often, y'all. I don't know why I keep getting the two confused, but I know the difference. It's just whenever I'm speaking, sometimes I say serotonin instead of dopamine. I meant to say dopamine. Anyway, so that's just a correction, y'all. Welcome back to the channel, like I said. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Sharifa. My poetry name is New Lily. If you're new, please check out the links located in the description box and comment section. And in both locations, you'll find an identical set of links. Links that lead to videos that talk about what started my targeting in 2020, as well as links that lead to videos that share information about the targeted individual program. Information about the tactics used on targets, the technology used on targets, and information about the program in general. So please check it out, y'all. I don't put those links there for GP. I don't put it there for style. I put it there to help other targets because I can empathize, and I've been where you are now. Whether you're further down the line in your targeting or you're earlier on in the targeting journey, because it's a hell of a journey and you better pray you get out. I'm working on getting out, y'all. I'm still in here going on year 5 at this point, right? Because it's 2025 and my targeting started. For those of you that have been subscribed, you know this. Those of you that are new, you're hearing it for the first time. The targeting, like I mentioned, just now started in 2020 for me. I didn't find out that I was a target until the end of 2022. But the targeting started in 2020, y'all. Shit got real for me in 2022. I mean, it was getting real, right? The targeting, again, started in 2020. And for 2 years, I'm not trying to tell the story here in a summary, right? There are video links in the description box and comment section, like I said, that you can click on and hear my story. There are several different options you can choose from. Those are typically the first links you'll see. So you'll see the PayPal link. Then I believe the next set of links are the links to the videos, the different videos where I tell my story. The story never changes, y'all. It's really just a matter of how much detail I give. Some versions are shorter than others. Some are more condensed and summarized, and others are longer and I expound on more things. There's even a video, I think it's called Part 1, Programming and Gaslighting of the Targeted Individual. That video, I specifically talk about when I learned that I was a target. So in 2022, 2 years after the targeting had taken place, right? Had started and taken place here on the island I'm from. I tried to relocate off island in 2022. The thing followed me, obviously. I didn't know that I didn't know I was a target. You know, I had some reactions, not physical, but nonetheless reactions that I got punished for, as usual. You know how it is in the program. My targeting went viral, blew up, went viral, and I came back to the island I tried to relocate off of at the end of 2022. I did research, and that was where I found gang stalking, the term gang stalking, and it was history from there. That was how I learned I was a target. So I've known that I'm targeted. I've been cognizant of the targeting for the last 2 years and change, y'all. So it's been 4 years and change that I've been targeted. If you hear the reason why, it's ludicrous, y'all. I sent a text message, an innocent text message 4 years and change ago. Had just come back from school. I had just graduated magna cum laude. Had my whole life ahead of me. I sent an innocent text message, y'all, and I'm here now. 4 years and change, targeted. So check out my story, y'all. It's a crazy one. And it just got worse and worse and worse because I kept having reactions to what I felt like was unfair treatment, you know, or an overdue and punishment. I didn't understand it. And it led to where I'm at now. Just like one medley of confusion and a big pot of mess and a bunch of people against me and just a real hot mess, y'all. Hot ice mess. But that's why I put the videos there. Because I want to help you, you know, like if you're a target and you're blessed enough to be earlier on in the targeting and you haven't made some of the same mistakes that I and other targets have made, then I want you to check out my videos and learn from my mistakes. And that's why I make the videos also, again, just to help other targets get my story out there, advocate for myself, etc. Anyways, yo, sorry I didn't mean to go on a tangent. You know, I always do this intro. Those of you that have been subscribed, I know you're used to it by now. I always do this intro at the beginning of my videos. Y'all, let me apologize for the way my voice sounds. I'm recovering from a cold. The cold is gone at this point, but I'm just dealing with the loss of, you basically say like laryngitis. Dealing with the loss of my voice is just coming back. So that's why, you know, my voice sounds like this. And then I just ate greasy ass KFC. You know, I told y'all in the last video, I've been slipping up and eating junk food and stuff. Still working out consistently. I'm getting a lot of results. So I'm happy with that. But the diet, I needs work. You know, I want to continue to bulk, but I want to do it in a healthy way. And, you know, I know about natural health and stuff. So for me to be eating the way that I am is ridiculous. You know, I'm eating a lot of junk like donuts, cake, cookie, pie, KFC, like not all the time, but like often enough to where it's like ridiculous. I know better. But with everything going on, I'm not gonna lie, it just like feels good, you know, and it's like a hit of serotonin when you eat something that tastes so freaking good. It's like a hit of serotonin to the brain and it just makes me feel better. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. That's just really what it is. And then it doesn't hurt that even though it's an unhealthy bulk, it is helping me bulk. Remember, I'm still in this bulking process. Anyways, y'all, so let me get to the point of the video, though. Enough with the intro. Because it's a relevant intro and the things I said were relevant, but kind of going off on a tangent, as usual. So anyways, y'all, I got a lot to talk about. I know I told y'all in the last video, not these last 3 poems that you saw. I mean, the last targeted individual video. Not the last one. The one before the last one where I was on camera. The last one that you see, the sabotage one, was actually made before the video with me on camera. But I ended up posting it after. But in the last video where you saw me on camera that I put up 7 days ago, where I took the halometer test live on camera, in that video, I told y'all that from now on, my future videos, targeted individual videos or content videos, not the poems, will be on camera now that I have the computer. But it's late, y'all. I know y'all can see the time. It's 9:09 p.m. So the lighting's going to be bad. For some reason, I know y'all saw the quality of that last video. Like, you can see me clearly, but the quality is not like, it doesn't seem like a good camera. And I spent $500 and change for that laptop, believe it or not. But the quality isn't 100%. I would say it's like 80%, 80 to 70%. And then it's nighttime now. So I would have to use my room light, which, as you all can see from this video, wasn't the best lighting. I had a little light coming in from outside. Now it's like completely dark. It's just not going to be good lighting. I'm tired too, y'all. Like I said, I'm working the 2 jobs and then I just came from the gym. So I don't feel like being on camera. I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't think the quality is going to be good or clear enough. But there are things I need to talk about. I want to talk about and document. So I'm still making the video even though I'm not on camera. So let's hop right in, y'all. It's just the same targeted individual reactive abuse. Just the same shenanigans, y'all. The same stuff, right? Just documented targeting and targeted individual activity, right? And just talking about certain things. This is similar to these recent videos where I was talking about this dream that I had that they kind of ran with. And also this new... I want to dive deep into this thing here because it's just humiliating. But not only is it humiliating, it's kind of strange, the timing of it too, right? Let's listen to the noises. They thrive, the people that have an issue with me, they thrive on negativity. Excuse me, I heard a plane flying by, so it's making me stammer on my words. They thrive on negativity and they thrive when I'm doing bad. Like, I notice anytime something good is happening for me and I drive out on the road, I study the faces of the people around me. I know if they try to do a poker face now, they're not very good at it. Some of them are. A lot of them aren't. Like, I notice, right, like when I'm out there and things are going good for me, like they have this annoyed, pissed look on their face. Like, a lot of them. And then when something bad or humiliating happens, they're all smirking. It's just like, it's such a horrible ass thing to be stuck in. It's like literally, pun intended, because remember, shit is one of the words used to sensitize me. It's literally like being stuck in a pile of shit and you can't pull yourself out of it. It's like the worst experience I've ever had in my entire life, where you have all these people against you. A lot of them you haven't done anything to. They just took a problem with you because of whatever, with the targeting. Maybe you said something offensive, reactive abuse. But so many of them have an issue with you, and they're privy to your everyday life. So they get to watch every freaking thing that happens with you, play by play, moment by moment. And they're all watching. They are all watching like it's a freaking movie. And so it's like you are stuck in this shit with so many people against you. Constantly humiliating things are happening. Screw the dream thing. Just in general, constantly humiliating things are happening. And then you have all these people that don't like you getting to watch and getting some sick kick out of it. Like, you know how horrible it is to be stuck in this shit? Pun intended. It's a nightmare. Like Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm talking Freddy Krueger type shit. Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, this is the shit nightmares are made of. Anyway, so let me continue though with what's going on. First of all, let's cover this dream thing again, right? I don't want to cover it again. There's not really much more to cover. If y'all want to hear the details about it, you can check out this humiliation video, right? Targeted individual humiliating neuromonitoring experience, right? Or I don't know what, let me click on this. It doesn't matter what the full title is. Y'all see the video. The thumbnail says humiliation. Check out the video if you want to hear the details about this dream and this ongoing, I wouldn't say ongoing per se, but, you know, unfortunately she's my coworker. And so we work at the same facility. She's a veteran corrections officer. I'm just a peon. I'm just a cadet trying to get my foot in the door. So unfortunately, for me at least, we are working in the same environment. And so it's like this embarrassing thing has happened. And it's like, there's no escaping it. It's just like, it's this thing that happened. So I do want to talk about it, but if you want to hear the details about the dream and what started the whole thing with she and I in the first place, you can check out this humiliation video, because it started from one false narrative and then it morphed into something else. And I just find what it morphed into to be odd, the timing at least. Because remember, hardcore, for the last few months, they've been throwing the gay narrative at me, right? They've been throwing it at me and throwing it at me and insinuating that I'm gay and I'm undercover and I'm this and that. Before I even had any dream about this girl, right? Or anything started happening with her, they started throwing that stuff at me when the thing with the guy in the gym popped off. Now, to hear about that, if you're newer to the channel, you can't start here. You have to, it's a few videos where I've been documenting what took place at the gym with that guy, right? Several videos. These recent videos, you have to check them all out, to be honest with you. The main ones you can check out really is the part 1 and part 2, targeted individual, PTSD, and reactive abuse. And I gave the rundown of what happened with that guy in those 2 videos. And then some of these other videos here, avoiding drama in the gym, the villainization of the target, targeted individual receiving retribution. These other videos are kind of just talking about the same thing and the ongoing situation with that guy. Look, I'm gonna bite on my leg now. Like, they are riding hardcore for this guy, like as if I did something to him. Like, he didn't start with me first. It's bonkers to me, y'all. Hold on, let me stop the video and catch myself. I need to get something to drink, y'all. I need to take my creatine, because as I told you all, I just came from the gym. I ate greasy chicken, right? I just had a protein shake, so I'm feeling winded. And they tend to hum on me when I do these videos. Surprisingly, I don't think they're doing it right now. At first they were, but it seems like they stopped. But still, I want to get something to drink and listen to what I've said so far, because I do feel like I rambled a little bit. I'll be back, y'all. Y'all, I'm back. So let's dive into this thing with this girl, right? I like I said, to hear like the main rundown about what took place with your dream and how the thing with her and I started in the first place, check out this targeted individual humiliating neuromonitoring experience, right? All right. And the reason it's a neuromonitoring experience is because, remember, I'm microchipped, right? And I have nanobots that were inserted into my body without my consent. So this is how they saw the dream in the first place. And this is how they're reading my thoughts. This is how they're hearing everything that I think. If you're targeted and you've been in this long enough, then you've experienced this already. You know that the people around you can hear your thoughts. This is why some targets are actually successfully convinced that they're schizophrenic, because these are all symptoms of schizophrenia. And if you don't do your research and you don't learn about the targeted individual program or the technology that exists, that they have patents that I've posted on this page, y'all, right? Check out the links in my description box and comment section. But if you're not aware or cognizant of this program and, like I said, the technology, then you can successfully be gaslit into thinking that you're schizo, and you might even start popping pills. So fortunately for me, the way my targeting worked, that wasn't able to be done to me. It was overtly obvious that technology was being used, and they're very obvious about the fact that they're doing that. Everybody's targeting is different. You have some targets where the agenda is to get the person to believe they're schizophrenic and get them on medication. And then you have some targeting where it's like they're very obvious about the fact that they're using technology on you, and they're even hinting to you that it's punishment for some sort of offense that you caused. And so that's how my targeting works. They're not trying to, I think they are trying to make me go cuckoo, but not in that way. Not like to make me think that I'm schizo, more so like using these aggressive, passive tactics. So passive, aggressive, continuous tactics day in and out in hopes of like making me lose my shit, basically. Anyway, it's real wicked. It's a wicked program, and you have to be grounded in the Most High, because like you could really lose your shit in this thing if you're not a strong person. And that's largely why I work out, by the way, y'all. I mean, there are several reasons why. I've told y'all already, and I've shown you evidence that I've been working out for years. Even in middle school, I played basketball and sports, and I was that type of female. I was always into sports and athletics. But now in the targeting, more than ever, it's made me mentally strong, because working out makes you mentally strong. It takes discipline. A disciplined, strong mind to push your body to the limit that you have to work out. Like, you have to be consistent. You have to push yourself through days of pain. You know, you have to push yourself to work hard. It's hard work working out. It's not like it's just, you know, painful, but it's hard. It's difficult. And some days you don't feel like going. And some days you're just like, ugh. Especially in the beginning parts of it where you're not seeing any results at first and you're doing all this hard work. It's like, okay, I'm not seeing anything. I don't feel like going today. It's hurting and I don't see any results. And, you know, and so it's like, it's that kind of way where some people just like, they stop. They don't see results quick enough. So they're not getting that reward quick enough. And they don't realize all the other benefits that come along with working out. It's not just that it makes you look good. It makes you mentally strong. It's good for you internally, right? It helps your cells to regenerate, etc. Revitalizes your youth, makes you look younger, etc. I'm having trouble with the looking young thing right now, y'all. I already told y'all, you know what I'm going through. I'm under a lot of stress. I'm targeted. I'm working 2 jobs. One of the jobs is 9 hours during the daytime while being neuromonitored, right? And stared at. And, you know, going to the gym and all these other things. So I feel like my face is looking rough. I still look good for 33, you know, so don't get it twisted. Y'all saw my video. I've seen people younger than me that look older than me. I still look good for 33, but not the way I was looking before the targeting. Like, I was on the path to aging well. Now I look just about 33, maybe 34 or 35 some days. But typically, working out, that's what it does for you. If I weren't working, I'd look a lot worse right now, y'all. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the working out and stuff, with the way I'm eating and the stress I'm under and working the 2 jobs and stuff, I would be looking a lot worse if it weren't for the working out. But there's so many benefits to working out, man. So many benefits, y'all. Like, it keeps you strong mentally, and with the targeting, that's something you need. You need to have a strong mind because you're going to be dealing with a lot of crazy things and you're going to be isolated and it's going to feel like you're by yourself. And if you don't have enough faith, you know, in something, I don't want to push a belief system on you, whether it's the Most High, the universe, whatever you believe in. If you don't have enough faith in something, you're going to feel alone and isolated, in addition to dealing with all of these horrible tactics and all these people against you. And your mind, if it's not strong and grounded, can get lost. Literally, you can lose your shit. There are so many targets that have lost their mind in this wicked program. Anyway, so let me continue with it though, y'all. So that's why I've been working out. That's the whole point, you know, but it's exhausting, and so I'm tired. But let me not go off on a tangent, y'all. Let me get back to this thing with this lady here. So in the humiliation video, you know, if you check it out, you'll hear me talking about what started the thing with her, right? Before the thing with her even started, because I want you to understand, I just started working at the facility as a cadet in November, right? And we're now in February. So I started November 18th, and what's today's date? February 3rd. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Like, this is going on the 3rd month of me working at the facility. It's been 2 months and change, right? Time flies. It feels like I just started yesterday. But also, too, it kind of feels like I've been there for a long time. It's this weird thing with time, especially when you're targeted. But anyways, I haven't been there that long, but I've been there for a good little slice of time, right? Before I got there, when the things in the gym started happening, you know, I had changed my gym time, started going in the morning time because that was what assured that I would have a guaranteed ride to the gym, right? Stuff started happening in the gym during the morning time. I explained to you all, and like I said, those videos that I pointed out. Oh, by the way, I wanted to correct myself. In the last clip, I said, if you want to hear about the drama in the gym with the guy, the ongoing drama, I said, is instead of are. I said you can check the videos. I forgot how I word what I said, but I was talking about the part 1 and part 2 video, and I said the 2 videos to watch I think is what I said. The part 1 and part 2, I meant to say the 2 videos are. So I use poor grammar. This happens all the time, y'all. I listen back to my videos and I'm cringing. I actually used to be an English teacher for 2 years, y'all. It's crazy. And so I feel bad when I listen back and I hear poor grammar. It's not that serious. This is an English class, but I cringe when I listen and I hear those errors, you know, so I just like to correct myself. Anyways, so understand, like, prior to these last 2.5 months, I was going to the gym in the morning time. Like, I was actively going 3 days out of the week. And it at first was at lunchtime, and then it changed to the morning time, right? I changed my time to the morning time because that was when I was guaranteed a ride to the gym. I would ride down with this family member of mine that works in the morning time. She's a teacher, right? And so she dropped me off on her way to work. My gym is en route to her job. I wasn't having any issues. Like I said, it was a bunch of new faces. The thing happened with the Italian guy where he started coming because of something that played in one of my videos, right? He started coming. I started seeing the other guy come in, the guy that the recent drama has happened with. Before the Italian guy started coming, I was seeing the other guy, but not during my workouts. Once or twice, 3 times at most, I saw him after my workout. So he would come in the gym like as soon as my workout was done, or like shortly before it would be done. Like I would have a few more sets and he would come and tell me hi, and he'd be in the area and just kind of linger around, and then I leave and that was it. It was normal, right? It wasn't anything major or anything crazy. It was kind of like similar to what was happening when I was working at, not really, because when I was working out in the afternoons, he was there for the whole workout. He was always there. But this time he wasn't, because this wasn't his time. You know, like when I first started coming, I wasn't seeing him. And then slowly but surely I noticed every now and then after a workout, I would see him like towards the tail end of my workout. But it wasn't anything crazy and nothing weird was happening. The thing with the Italian guy started. Y'all have to check out those videos to hear about it. Like I said, I'm not going to go into details about it again redundantly. The thing started with the Italian guy. Notice I started seeing him during the morning workouts too, all of a sudden. So from the beginning of my workout to the end, he was there, and the Italian guy. Whatever started happening with the two of them started happening. And then he started getting real gnarly with the gang stalking, right? Look, they flying the thing by because they know that's what happened, right? He started getting real gnarly with the gang stalking. He started it with me first. I didn't respond at first. I didn't. It wasn't until like days and days of him doing like really egregious stuff that I finally had a nasty response, and they tore me a new one for it. It's crazy. It's just subjectivity. I keep saying this: when you're targeted, there's no objectivity. Like, they can see that you're right in a situation, or that somebody literally antagonized you first, and you just have the nasty reaction, and they'll still attack you or go against you for the nasty reaction because they already have preconceived notions about you, and they already have personal biased feelings towards you. So it's very subjective. There's no objectivity there. They're just like, they're already like have it in for you, pitchfork. So anything that happens, you're screwed, pretty much. So anyway, that's pretty much what happened with him. Really, that's literally what happened. And so it just kind of turned into this look a gang stalker thinging up now. Oh shit, it's the police. Look, it's the police. What? Yo, the popo slid through on the street, y'all. The popo don't even be on the street. I've seen it once before. A day when it was like a lot of activity with the emergency vehicles. I don't have an issue with the police. In fact, I'm hopefully, if the most I spares my life and things work out, about to go to police academy, right? To become a corrections officer for real. I don't have an issue with the police. I respect law enforcement. I'm trying to become law enforcement, and I've tried in the past. But unfortunately, at that time, my targeting had already started. I'm not going into the details about it. Even before my targeting, when I was about to graduate magna cum laude and I had no motive, right, to join law enforcement, you know, there was no motive there. It's just something I wanted to do. I was in contact with a sergeant, an Air Force sergeant, right? Look, the police, no, that's not the police. That's a truck. I was in contact. I've shown the emails in prior videos. I'm not about to pull it up now. I was in contact with an Air Force sergeant because I knew I was about to graduate magna cum laude, and I knew I could have joined at a higher rank in the Air Force, and I knew I could have become an officer. And so I was talking with this sergeant, and he was talking to me about it, and he was interested in everything. And when I saw the process, I just was like, nah. And I had considered the Air Force in high school too. They were reaching out to me because I had gotten high scores on the ASVAB. So the Air Force was reaching out when I was in high school, but I had different stuff in my head, and I wasn't interested at that time. But I've considered it, man. Law enforcement, military, etc. I don't have an issue with law enforcement. I don't have an issue with government. I don't have an issue with the military. It's just that, unfortunately, when you're targeted, it is a government program, and emergency vehicles get involved, as well as law enforcement and government officials. That's just how it works. And so it might eventually seem like you're anti-government or law enforcement when you start advocating for yourself, and that's just not the case. You're just advocating for yourself. Anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent about that, y'all. It doesn't matter. It's just a car. At the end of the day, it's a car with lights on it, right? So I'm just going to continue with the story, what I'm talking about. So the thing with the guy in the gym started happening, and it just like made things really go to the pooper with the targeting. Apparently the dude knows a lot of people. You know, a lot of law enforcement comes to the gym and works out, right? And he's cool with all them guys, and I think he knows a lot of people. He's a personal trainer, and he seemed like one of them dudes that just know a lot of people, you know. So it's a small island. It doesn't take much to know a lot of people, especially if you're not like an introverted type of person. It really you just have to grow up here. You know, people like my dad's like that. My dad knows so many people down here. My mom's like that. Like, it doesn't take much, especially if you're not like a hermit or like somebody that's in their shell, kind of like me. And that's unfortunately how it works when you're targeted. If you're not somebody that has like a large group of people as friends, even if it's like superficial relationships, then anything can kind of happen to you because you don't have anyone to advocate for you when you get in this tough spot. Anyway, so it is what it is. I pissed off a bunch of people more, I guess, again, just reacting to what this guy was doing. So it created this thing, and with the technology, they started aggressively, they've low-key been pushing the gay thing anyway. You know, as one of the false narratives because of the text message, they've been pushing the gay thing, to be honest with you, for the last 2 years. Since I tried to leave in my targeting went viral, they've been pushing it low-key. But like the last, I want to say few months, when the thing started popping off with that guy in the gym, hardcore programming with the shadow networking, hardcore programming in person, gang stalking, just kind of pushing the narrative of me being gay or on the down low, or, you know, just to kind of validate the text message. And so I just ignored it. I usually just laugh at them. They've been in my brain. You know, I have to, because, you know, I'm going to put on my lawyer cap now. I want to be a lawyer, y'all. Man, there were so many careers I went through that I wanted to do and considered. I was even looking at the law school on the next street over from the school I graduated from. I graduated from Florida Memorial University. It's a private HBCU. That's where I graduated from, magna cum laude, right? I have to keep throwing that in there because they try to discredit me with everything. But anyways, I remember I went over to the law school on the next street with my mom, and we were looking at it. I went in there, I was talking to them and everything, because for years I had played with the idea of becoming a lawyer. Even in my early 20s, I wanted to be a lawyer. I was even, believe it or not, y'all, I kid you not, you can ask my mom, I was even looking at Yale. Before I was a target, of course. I was looking at Yale. Anyway, it didn't pan out. Like, I ended up just deciding to go with the teaching. You know, I scrapped that idea. You know, I in my head knew I wanted to get my master's degree eventually, but I didn't feel like doing more school at the moment. I had worked my ass off in school, and I wanted a low break. I just wanted to work. I had a job offer up there in Florida, a teaching job offer. Things didn't work out with that. You know, it was the conditions in which they wanted to hire me. I talked about this already on prior videos. I didn't have my teaching certificate. So the lady had hired me and gave me the job. I don't want to be disrespectful. The headmaster, she hired me on. She gave me the job. But she said because I wasn't certified, what she could do instead was this loophole where she would hire me on as an interim sub. And so it would be like I would have the position of interim sub, but I would fill in the empty slot of English teacher, and in the meantime work on getting my certification. But I would be in the system as a sub, an interim sub, which is a little different from a regular sub. And you can do like long-term teaching stints as an interim sub. So you can basically like fill in the slot of an English teacher, math teacher, chemistry teacher, whatever, and you just don't have the title. You know, like the students will look at you like the teacher, you are the English teacher, but in the system, you don't have the title, and the pay isn't the same either. It's a little different too. So I didn't like that. You know, because, you know, I knew that there were different opportunities out there, or different locations where you could actually become an actual teacher. So my mom told me about home, and she was telling me like, oh, well, come home. You know, you could become an actual English teacher if you get a provisional certification. And that's something that they do down here that I actually think is really cool, that they don't do in a lot of other places, where they know you're new and you're coming fresh out of school and you want to teach. So it would make sense that you give the person an opportunity to be a teacher while they work on getting their certification. And so they do that down here. They let you, like, they give you 5 years to get the schooling. And I'm sorry, y'all, I started getting weird because I heard the bird chirp and it made me feel awkward. Anyway, they give you 5 years, right? And they give you what's called a provisional certification, right? And so the provision is that within the 5 years, you have to take the schooling to get certified for real. and you can teach as an actual teacher in the meantime. So I was doing that for 2 years. The targeting started. Why did I start talking about this? Because I realized I went off on a tangent. Y'all, I'm not going to keep doing this video, but let me stop and listen to what I've said so far. I'm going to come back. Y'all, I realized where I went off. I went off on a tangent as usual. Let me remind y'all, look at the banner. Talk with Sharifa, living with Asperger's and ADD, right? ADD is the inattentive form of ADHD. So basically you have the lack of attention and the trouble focusing and the going off on tangents, etc. But you don't have the hyperactivity, right? So that's something I've had my whole life. I was diagnosed in childhood. So that's something that's common in a lot of my videos. In all of my videos, I go off on tangents. But at this big old ripe age of 33, I know how to rein it back in. I always, for the most part, rein it back in. So anyways, what happened is I listened back to the last clip, and I was addressing the first thing that I want to talk about in this video, which was what I had already started talking about, this ongoing embarrassing thing with my coworker, the female coworker, and the dream that happened and them trolling me about it. And I was saying I'm going to prove my point and put on my lawyer cap. And what I mean by prove my point is the fact that they're now trying to, of course, tie the fact that there's some sort of something going on. There's nothing going on between she and I. She's married with children. But I mean, activity in my brain with this specific coworker, and she happens to be female. They're now trying to tie that to the text message and purposely now try to perpetuate the false narrative that was created from the text. I mean, it's so bad. You should see how these little girls are acting in the grocery stores. It's just so freaking ridiculous. It's so disgusting when you're treated a certain way, like you did something and you didn't. I had one little girl getting so damn rude and disrespectful when I had just come from the gym the other day. I went to one of the grocery stores, on the other side of the island. She's behind me doing directed convo. This place is full of, and she said the name of the police department down here. It's full of so-and-so and cameras. So I know she can hear my thoughts. Everyone can. And I said, you mean like me? Because remember, I'm actually trying to become law enforcement. I'm a cadet right now. So I'm an officer in training. So I said, you mean like me? As what I thought in my head. And I said, watch it, little girl. I said, watch your mouth. I didn't say it, I thought it, but remember, they can hear my thoughts. And so then she stopped talking about it and started talking about something else. The next one is this grocery store that's right next to the gym I like to go in. I remember I went in the other day, same little girl. As I'm walking by, she's tapping hard on the register. I'm like, okay. And then tonight, I think it was the same little girl. I'm not sure. They're all starting to look the same to me. No disrespect. But I mean, it's all just becoming one big blur to me at this point. I know it's like she was there, and then when I came back, I was dreading having to go to her because I saw she was the only register open. But I'm not going to stop living my life and going to the grocery stores and going to registers because there's a little girl there when I haven't done anything. But, I was dreading the interaction because even before this dream thing happened, they used to antagonize me at the register, specifically with younger females, like the flyby, just to get a reaction out of me. I noticed she moved and they let the manager go to the register. So they're literally now pushing this thing hardcore because of this thing that's going on with my coworker. It's ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so that's what I mean when I say putting on my lawyer cap, because I'm going to point out the facts and how this doesn't validate anything, or nor does it take away from the refutation of my prior videos. So I'm going to share the honest to God truth about my feelings and what I do feel from what I don't feel, and the attractions that I've had in the past from what I haven't had, and what my sexual orientation is, because I, in this big old ripe age of 33, don't feel the need to hide my sexuality. We're living in a whole different day and age now. It's a very liberal time. People are very open, right? If I wanted to be gay, especially as a female, I could very well do so. Like, females, why would it be hidden for so long, to the point where I'm targeted now and then I let it come out? Does that make sense? How stupid would I be to let it come out now that I'm targeted with all these freaking false allegations against me? What does that make? Does that even make sense? I could have came out before I was targeted and before there were false narratives if I truly were gay. In this day and age, it's actually considered cool to be gay. I remember back in the day, a lot of my female friends were bragging about, sexual interactions they had with females. They were bisexual, some of them. My sisters, friends, and mine. Some of them were like kind of loose and bisexual, and They were bragging about it, and a lot of females were in high school, and even now, like, it's considered cool. Nicki Minaj, like, in her music, talking about that stuff. Like, for females in particular, they really, first of all, in this day and age in general, like I said, it's a very liberal time. If somebody's gay, they're pretty much open about it. I would say with men specifically, there is still some sort of taboo there. You know, especially, I would say I don't want to make this a race thing, but especially in the Black community, like, sometimes there is some sort of stigma and taboo there with men. So you do have a lot of men that partake in down low activity. But even now, even that is not as bad as before because of how liberal things are in this day and age. But for females, being gay is in this day and age considered cool. It's considered sexy and this and that. And if I were gay, I wouldn't hide it. There's no reason for me to hide it. Why would I hide that? I can be honest if I have like this isolated incident where this, whatever this is, that's happened. I'm going to talk about it, right? And the programming and stuff. But other than this girl, I've only in my lifetime had an attraction to one other female, and it wasn't an attraction to where I want to be with you. I want to date you. First of all, I've said this before, and I don't mean to get vulgar, right? I'm just being honest. I'm a germaphobe and I have OCD, right? And the female genitalia is a funny thing. You know, it's internal. It's not like a man. Don't get me wrong. Some men are nasty and they don't clean themselves, especially if they're, I'm not, again, trying to be vulgar, but I'm just telling you how my feelings are and part of why I'm not fully, I wouldn't fully be sexually attracted to a female. Some men are nasty, and if they're not circumcised, they can smell pretty frowsy and nasty, right? I've smelled a guy before and it was a wrap. But for the most part, men are external. So you really got to be doing nastiness, not cleaning yourself to be smelling bad when you have an external body part, right? Females, however, our body part is internal, right? So it's this cavern of whatever, moisture and whatever else. And if you don't clean yourself properly, then yeah, it can get pretty gnarly. And I've smelled females before, not females that I was doing anything sexual with. I've never done anything sexual with a female. But I've looked like the programming. Whoa, something just popped in my head when I said that. Programming. Anyway, I've never done anything. That was crazy. Anyway, I've never done anything sexual with a female. But still, it's just like some females smell bad. And it's weird to talk about because that's another false narrative that they lie about and purposely push this fish thing when they've never smelled me before. It's just spite, right? They're just being spiteful. They've never smelled me. I guarantee you, right? I wash myself and I bathe so often. There's no way that anybody's ever smelled me down there. I've never gotten a smell off myself down there. The only time down there has ever had any kind of odor was when I was having my period and when I was younger and, a tomboy, and I was just learning how to clean myself. And, period stinks. It's a nasty stink thing. It's waste. What it is like dead eggs, basically, like your whole wall, your whole uterine wall is tearing off, and all those eggs that weren't used are basically cleaning out of you. It's like a cleaning. Your body's cleaning itself. So it stinks. It's death. That's what period is. It stinks. So, if you don't know how to clean yourself properly with that could really get funky. But I don't smell. Like, I'm very anal and OCD about my body. This is why with the false narratives about me smelling bad and people holding their nose, when I know I take a concerted effort to smell good, it pisses me off to know. This is why I get so mad about it. Because I know it's a blatant lie and I know I smell good and I know I'm putting in the extra work to smell good. And you're pretending like that thing gets me so angry. It's like that's up there with the child thing, but nah, the child thing is at the highest level. There's nothing as high as that. But anyways, that OCD of mine though about cleanliness and body parts and just knowing how the female genitalia works, that in and of itself would stop me from being like gay, to be honest with you, because not all women are clean and not all women know how to clean their private parts, and that's a very like particular area for a female. If you ain't cleaning it right, that's really the main thing that's like off-putting to me, because I can find a female attractive, and then when it comes to that portion of things where it comes to getting like sexual and stuff, I can't envision going all the way there because I'm just that part of it for sure. I'm not attracted to be honest with you. Anyways, so that's first of all. But second of all, let's now, like I said, put my Lori cap on and break the thing down. So first of all, like I said, if you check out the humiliation video. You'll hear how the thing with this lady started. I'm not meaning to say this lady in a disrespectful way. I don't know if that sounds disrespectful, but obviously I'm not going to say her name on here. And I don't know what else to refer to her as. She is a lady, right? That's actually an endearing term. But I think the way I'm saying it sounds kind of derogatory. I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. But that's how I'm going to refer to her as, this lady or this girl. Or she's older than me, right? So saying this girl sounds kind of weird, but this lady. The only reason I know her age is because one of the first days when I was working at the facility, I had a conversation with her and another female coworker, and we had a very brief conversation. That's why I know she has children, and she told me her age, and so I know her age, and she's like a few years older than me. Anyway, so, and that's to tell you too, like, typically when I am attracted to someone, even if, like I said, this is only the second female I've ever been attracted to, by the way, if there is any attraction to any sex, whether it's male or female, I like older. That's always been a thing with me. Even in high school, I've always dated older and I've always liked older. I typically don't like younger people or people my age, really. It's a rarity. It's happened. I'm not gonna lie. It's happened. But typically the people that I like are older, like 5 to 10 years older. That's just usually how it is. 7 to 10 years older. Like that's how it's been my whole life. Anyway, so what this thing with her, I told y'all how it started, where the false narrative thing and me getting in my own head. I'm not going to break it down again in this video. Please, again, check out this humiliation video before you check out this video, so I don't have to repeat myself. The thing with her husband happened, not anything they did. Again, it was me getting in my own head and creating stupidness for myself. Really, I don't want to gaslight myself. It was PTSD and trauma, and them constantly pushing, this narrative of me being a homewrecker. And so something happened with the training that was supposed to take place before I actually got into the jail. This test I had to take, this physical, in order to qualify for police academy. And her husband was supposed to be my trainer, and I didn't get the training, and I started getting in my own head and thinking that they thought I was a homewrecker. Stupid, dumb, stupid shit. Petty, dumb stuff. Got in my own head. I wasn't going to make a video about it. These were personal insecurities or feelings that had been programmed into me that I was not going to get on camera and talk about. That's embarrassing, and I didn't want to create anything for myself at the job. But I literally had this PTSD reaction to him when he came around me. It's not happening anymore. Now it's her when she comes around me. It's just crazy how this thing happened, It was her husband first I was having the reaction with. Now it's her for a whole different reason. But anyway, whenever he was coming around me, I was getting real bassity, right? And remember, y'all, I'm half Trini. And so I explained this to y'all in prior videos. Bassity just means like flustered, discombobulated, like you can't catch yourself, like stupid, like that kind of way. Whenever he was coming around, I was getting real bassity and flustered, and obviously people watching took notice. They are watching me with the insect drones, and they started to fly the thing in my face and fly it, and then I noticed they started using him after I had that reaction, and he was coming around and looking in his phone and sitting down like nearby and just looking at his phone, and it was unnerving. And at first, now I don't even really have much of a reaction to the man, thank the Most High, no disrespect to him. I don't mean to say the man in that kind of way. Now it's his wife. If anything, the angst was really just now him knowing about this damn dream. Anyway, so that's how things started with her, though, because then I made a video talking about whatever feelings I was having about the situation and what I thought might have been going on, and just explaining why I had the reaction that I had to him when they flew the fly in my face, just defending myself, really. And it kind of created not a major thing in there, not really. They haven't really been nasty about it. It didn't create anything too crazy. They weren't acting over the top. She wasn't acting like a bitch or anything crazy like that. It was more so like I just started seeing her more. Like, typically that's how it is with these videos. Whenever I make a video about someone, I start seeing them more, like they'll insert them in my path throughout the day or whatever the case is, as kind of retribution for me making the video and talking about people, basically. Even if it's in defense of me, or it was because I was having like a PTSD reaction to programming and false accusations being hurled at me for 2 years straight, and so then I have a reaction because I overthought something and I had a PTSD reaction. And now I feel like I need to explain the reaction because I think they took the reaction the wrong way. I don't know what they were thinking in their head, but they definitely took that reaction the wrong way. And so I really wanted to explain now. I was like, oh my God, they're really going to think I'm a homewrecker now. So I went into the video and tried to explain why I was reacting the way I was reacting to her husband. And then it turned into this thing where I started seeing her. Like, like this thing. Anytime I'd walk down, like, she'd be, like, in the area. And, I mean, I know she's a common face in there anyway. She's actually, I think, from what I've seen, the only officer that has, like, a canine dog. And that's part of the fascination, too. I just think she's cool, really. I just thought she was cool. It was just fascinating, different. But that's not really what it is, though. I mean, that's part of it. I think that's part of it. I just think she's cool. Like, different. But then also, too, I think it's programming, to be honest with you. Because they have hardcore, like I said, for the last few months, been programming this gay thing into my brain. And I've already explained how this technology works, right? I'm going to go into the details of it just now, y'all. I think I actually need to use the bathroom. It's a hot mess. I keep leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back. But I think I don't have work tonight, y'all. This was my only night off from the night job. So trust and believe this video is getting done tonight. But I've been holding excuse me for the TMI, my bodily fluids all day. I was at the gym, right? I went straight to the gym. So I worked last night, a night shift, right? I worked from 12 to 6 a.m. Went home, took a shower. I laid in my bed for about an hour, right? Got up, went to the day job, 8 a.m., all the way to 5 p.m. Then I went straight to the gym, and I didn't leave the gym until 7:55. Then I had to wait for my father to pick me up, right? So I didn't get home until like around 9 p.m., where the first clip I think showed when I started the video, because I started the video relatively soon after getting home. You know, and I've been making these parts, you know, periodically over the course of the last 2 hours, stopping, taking a break, but I haven't really gotten to use the bathroom. I peed. Oh man. No, I just thought about something. I peed, of course, but sorry for the TMI, y'all. Let me just end the clip. This is too much. I might cut this out. Y'all, I need to use the bathroom. I've been holding it, as needless to say, for 2 shifts basically. And then I went to the gym. So I'll be back. All right, y'all. As you can see up at the top of the screen, it's 5:39 a.m. I was exhausted, y'all. This is why I told you I need to use the bathroom. I didn't even end up using the bathroom. I mean, I did a little bit, but not like to the full extent that I wanted to. I was just so tired, y'all. After I got up, I came back and I laid down and I was like, okay, I'll finish the video just now. Let me just close my eyes for a few seconds. And a few seconds turned into the whole night. Like, I kid you not, I was supposed to get up and finish eating the rest of what I have laid out for myself to eat. I have like a daily regimen and a certain amount of calories and protein that I need to intake. Remember, I'm still bulking, y'all, right? I still have a protein shake from yesterday I was supposed to drink. And I was supposed to get up and finish eating my dinner. I was supposed to make a beef patty or pate, however you say it, tomato. The beef patty, I'm going to just count it as a loss for yesterday. I'm not going to try to squeeze all that stuff in right now in the morning time. But I'm going to try to finish eating my dinner from last night and my protein shake from yesterday. But needless to say, I didn't even get up and finish the things that I was supposed to finish eating and drinking yesterday, or last night rather. And now it's 5 something. I just woke up a little while ago. My body woke me up and I saw that it was saying 5:29. I was like, what? 5:29 a.m. as y'all can see at the top of the screen. I was like, what the heck, man? Because I was supposed to get up. I really wanted to get up and finish this video. I was at the very beginning. And I just, I'm like, what the heck? I laid my head down and I KO'd. I knocked out. That's how tired I am. Anyway, y'all, let me finish this video, though. So tired, y'all. It's ridiculous. So anyways, finished talking about female coworker and programming. Yeah, so let me finish saying what I was saying about my coworker, y'all. And let me try to hurry up and get to this video too, because I actually have to get up and get ready for work soon. Typically I'll get up at like 6:25 a.m. Typically I work at night and then I come home and I go and I bathe. Usually when I get home it's like around 6:15. I have like 10 minutes to catch myself. Then 6:25 I'll head into the shower, bathe, and I'll come back and lay down for about an hour. And then at 7:30 a.m. I'll get up and finish getting ready and then head to the day job. But since I didn't work last night, after I bathe at 6:25, I'm still going to come back in my bed until 7:30, but it's not like I'm going to need to sleep, So if push comes to shove, I can come back and finish the video because I likely won't finish it by 6:25. I'm going to try to, you can see all the tics that I have here that I want to talk about. I've done this before where I've tried to, condense a video and say everything that I need to say without the video being too long, but it's really hard. I tend to go on tangents. I like to give details. It's going to be difficult. I can already see that likely I won't be done by 6:25 a.m. But if I'm not, I'll just come back and finish the video in that hour that I have as downtime. I'll come back and I'll finish the video. But let me finish talking about this female coworker, right? So anyways, it's just the timing, like I said, is odd to me because, it's the weirdest thing ever. I haven't had any incidents, as much as they've been programming me with the female thing and bringing females around me with short pants on, because they're not only bringing children around me. That's the creepy, weird, annoying part. But they also often, they don't do it as, they haven't done it as aggressively. I would say recently. Not recently. They have done it aggressively recently. This amped up recently. When I say recently, I mean in the course of the last I want to say 7 to 8 months, things have kind of lightened up, where every now and then they'll bring like the females around with the short pants and stuff, but it wasn't as aggressive as like 2023 or the beginning of last year. I want to say midway, not midway through, but like, well into last year, they had stopped using that sensitization, the females coming around with the short pants and their body hanging out. And because I used to go in about it on the videos, and I used to say they were just looking for attention, these females, because they know the whole island is watching, right? Everyone on the island is privy to these cameras that are on me. So when these females would come around with their stuff hanging out, it was kind of seeming like they just wanted attention, like you just want to be seen on camera and you're using me as an excuse to do whatever, to come out clantly or scantily dressed to be seen on camera. I used to just go in the videos about it. And so they kind of stopped doing it. They don't do it as much, but still off and on I would, have that sensitization of them bringing females around in the short pants and, stupid, dumb, petty, retarded stuff. Not retarded, I don't mean to use that word. That's a derogatory word and it's offensive too. I apologize. Anyway, in the last few months since they've amped up with pushing, I'm sorry, I'm hearing loud talking outside my door, y'all. Hold on a second. Since they've amped up with aggressively these last few months pushing that narrative, notice the little short black pants. I'm seeing it incessantly now. Like in the gym, for instance, I haven't seen it. In like the last 2 sessions, I haven't seen it. But that's the other thing I'm seeing is the short black pants and the females coming with the little short black pants. And, then through the technology, again, just pushing the gay narrative. They keep sending me the rainbow and people that were on the down low, stories about people that were on the down low. And they sent me Shamar Moore, right? And they were talking about his recent relationship that he ended with his baby's mother. I don't like the term baby mama. No disrespect or anything like that if you are a baby mama, if that's what you subscribe to, that term. But I don't like that term. I feel like it's an offensive term, in my opinion, that you're being deduced to being called somebody's baby mama. Like, I just don't like how that, it's either that hold on, y'all. I'll come back. Hold on. Yeah, y'all, sorry about that. It's like loud talking outside of my door all of a sudden while I'm trying to do this damn video. It's morning time, so everybody's trying to get ready now, and then we're out of water and stuff, so it's just like different activity this morning. This loud talking outside the door disturbing me. But anyway, so I'll go off on a tangent about stupid small little things like that. It's really not that serious. But for me, I just don't like the term. I'd rather hear a different term used for a woman that's given birth and gone through 9 months of labor, for, I don't know, for a man. Like, even if y'all aren't together anymore, I just don't like the term baby mama. It's just, maybe it's a personal thing. Anyway, moving on though. I just forgot what I was talking about in the first place. Shamar Moore, right? So his child's mother, they split, his ex-girlfriend. He broke up with her. And they were talking about the fact that over the years, he's been in many different, like, high-profile relationships, and he always ends up, leaving the relationship for one reason or the other. And he's never really been in a solid long-term relationship. And they feel like he was just kind of using this lady to have a child so he could finally have a child, and he's in his late 50s. And, if you know about Shamar Moore, he's like a playboy. In Hollywood, he's in his late 50s. But they were saying he was going to Diddy's parties, a lot of Diddy's parties and stuff, and they believe he's really gay and, an undercover, basically. And that's why his relationships don't last. And they've been hardcore. Look, they just start doing the rooster and barking the dog in the background when I start talking about this. But they're trying to insinuate, basically, that I'm an undercover, right? And that's why my relationships don't last. Because I said that before they had this dream thing that they're trying to run with, before out of my own stupid mouth, I was talking about some of my prior relationships and how I've ended all of them. And it's that I always find something in the relationship wrong in the relationship. But it's not this thing where I'm looking for something wrong. And it's not this thing where, secretly I'm attracted to females and that's why I'm breaking up with the men. No, that's not the case. What the case is I have had real bad luck with men. I've had bad luck with men, and it's been of all different types, y'all. I've dated pretty boys. I've dated rough guys. I've dated educated men. I've dated men that are more like street dudes. I've dated every type of guy you can think of, and it's just like I have horrible luck with men. Like there's always something wrong that you can't work with. Let me show you something. This video, y'all, I went out of my way to create a video called Kisses to My Exes. And if that you check out that video, you'll see some of the dudes that I've dated from the past, right? And the only reason I created this video is because it's like they're bipolar. They keep throwing contradictory things at me with their craziness. But with the targeting, you're isolated. And so they block up everything. They block up the love life, the financial life, etc. Like just recently, my financial life has opened up a little bit to the point where at least I was able to get a decent job. But a lot of areas in your life get blocked up, and one of those areas is your dating life. You're isolated, and you're purposely it's like this this directive where you're not going to genuinely be able to date someone. So anyways, they'll gaslight you about it too, because they'll know that this is happening and that tactic is being used, and then they'll still gaslight you about it. And make it seem like something's wrong with you and you can't find somebody and this and that, and they'll start throwing weird things at you purposely, that no one wants to date you and like you're stupid and or delusional and don't understand what's going on, and that this is actually a well-crafted psychological warfare program, and that's one of the main tactics used, one of the many tactics. Anyway, so that's why I threw together this Kisses to My Exes video. I always do this when they try to gaslight me about stuff that's happening to me now currently as a target. I always throw together a video of my recent past, not even far past, prior to my targeting, to show that you can't gaslight me or warp my reality and make me forget the life I lived before being a target. So anyways, that's the only reason I threw together that video, because I'm a very private person, and anybody that knows me, like really knows me, knows that nobody ever knows who I'm dating. Only the people in my close circle, in my small circle, know who I'm dating whenever I'm dating someone, and it takes a while for me to tell them too. That's the joke. They always, like when my sisters and stuff, they used to like rag me in a funny way, like it was a joking way when we were close before my targeting, about the fact that whatever's going on with them, they come and they tell me right away. And with me, when it comes to dating, whatever, anything I'm going through, whatever it is, but even typically mainly dating, I take a while. Like I move secretive and I take a while, and then I fill out the situation, and then I'll come tell you when I'm ready, So me putting together this video and showing the dudes I dated, you have to know it was because of the targeting and me trying to prove a point. Because then they tried to gaslight me about that too. It's like straight gaslighting with the targeting. Then they put up a video about somebody being a show off, and they were talking about all the people they were dating and this and that. When I was doing it as a way to knock down your tactic and your gaslighting, trying to make it seem like I can't find a man or anybody for that matter, and I can't get a date, and nobody wanted her and this and that. Straight blatant lies, because I've had several guys, first of all, checking me out genuinely, not just the tactics that I've seen. I've had several things happen, even with the targeting, that I could tell if I weren't a target, what would be happening. I'm a woman, and I've been a woman for a very long time. You cannot gaslight me and make me have a warped reality. Anyway, so shit, even with that dude in the gym, I don't know what the situation was with him, but even when this is to tell you I'm not desperate. There is a level of loneliness that comes along with being targeted. And it's gaslighting for them to call you desperate if you start to crave intimacy or if you want a relationship, because that's a human instinct. That's what we were put here on earth for. Every culture has a different perception, right, of things. Every culture. So whether you believe in the Bible, and let me not even just say culture, belief system, because there are different belief systems within different cultures. But every belief system has a different perception of the same thing, right? And it might have a few differences, but for the most part, the belief system and the understanding in every belief system is that we were put here to procreate. That's what we were put here to do. I'm somebody that believes in the Bible, right? So I'm going by that belief system. But in every belief system, in every culture, one consistent thing is that we're here to start families and to procreate. That's a natural human instinct. So it's not even just a basic need. It's a natural human instinct, and it's innate. So you are going to naturally want to mate, especially if you're in your 30s, like I am. That doesn't make you desperate. That doesn't make you all these other things, thirsty, these gaslighting terms that they throw at me. These are normal human emotions and basic instinct. Even in nature, even if they're not getting a mate for relationship purposes like intimacy and kicking back and watching a movie, they are going out and actively seeking mates so that they can procreate. They're looking for the mate that has the brightest feathers in nature, or the biggest chest in nature, whatever, the most aggressive male, the alpha male, whatever they're looking for in nature, whatever defines that perfect mate, they're looking for that so that they can procreate. That's how that works. And we are humans, and we are, just like everything else on earth, animals with natural instinct. Not everything is an animal, but you know what I mean, right? So just like the animals in nature, we are animal too, even though our brain functions at a higher level, right? So there's a little bit more that comes along with it. Like when we're looking for a mate, we're not just looking for the alpha or the strongest or the biggest chest or the brightest feathers. We're also looking for somebody that can cater to us mentally, someone we can sit back and talk to, somebody we can watch a movie with, etc. But the point is, we are looking for the same thing that animals in nature are looking for, because it's basic instinct and it's innate. So it's not you being thirsty or desperate if you're craving a relationship with someone or intimacy with someone. But they would block up that part of your life, paint it like you can't get someone when they know that's a tactic, and then also start painting it like you're thirsty or you're desperate or you're this or you're like, even though I haven't acted thirsty or desperate at all I've done is live my life. I go to the gym and I work out. Right? That's a problem for them. They don't like that I'm doing, I don't know, big stuff in the gym. I don't know what it is, but they're like trying to block up the mirror and, trying to put stuff in the gym sometimes. It's just like, I don't understand it. And trying to use that as a way to call me thirsty. No, not really. Even like I said, though, with that guy, because that's what made me go off on the tangent. The guy with the thing in the gym, with the ongoing thing. In the morning time, when I was still going in the morning before I started working the day job, he gave me his number. Whether that was genuine or not, he did give me his number, and he asked me to go on a hike with him. And I had conversations with him and some of the other guys in the gym, and the conversation sounded genuine, where they're telling me about the hiking that they do and where they would be going and all this stuff like that. It sounded cool, and they knew that supposedly he was my type and I had a crush on him and this and that. I never contacted the man. So I'm not as thirsty or as desperate as they're trying to paint it. Sure, I do want a relationship, and I do want to have a family, and I do want to have children, like every other female and human. Well, let me not say every other female and human, because I don't know, some people are out there don't want those things. Like they're traumatized, they had some traumatic things happen to them or whatever it was in life, and they don't want those things. But that's rare. Typically, most humans, most females and men want a relationship, and they want children, and they want a family. That's normal. And it's not thirsty to feel that way. It's natural. It's in the Bible. It's in all the different cultures and all the different belief systems. It's innate. It's nature. It's nature. It's basic instinct. Anyway, though, because I started going off on a tangent on that, because that just irks me to no end too. The gaslighting tactics. It just gets me sick. But anyways, with that guy from the gym, though, I didn't even use his number. So obviously I'm not as desperate, as thirsty as they try to paint it. And they even do tactics like Facebook, for instance. When I have a story that gets a bunch of views, they'll pull the story down right away. Like they want to keep a certain perception out there about me. And it's not just specifically me. It's something they do with targets. They want to have a certain perception out there about you. And so if you're somehow able to combat some of these tactics and clean up your image a little bit, They want to keep a certain perception out there about you. They want to have this nasty perception out there that nobody wants me. I'm this nasty, wretched thing. I'm desperate. Like, they want to keep a certain perception out there. And I notice when the perception starts changing, they use all kinds of tactics to make sure that it goes back to whatever. It's crazy. I've been in some real spiritual warfare for a minute, y'all. Anyway, let me listen back to this, y'all, because I start going off on a tangent and I need to hurry up. And, y'all already know I told you what the time limit is right now, right? What it's looking like. You heard that beep? I don't know if y'all heard that. That was my watch. Every hour, I have it so that it beeps. It's 6 o'clock now. In 25 minutes, I got to go take my shower, and then I only have an hour to finish this video. So let me listen to the last clip, and then I'm going to come and try to get back on point and finish the video. Y'all, in the last clip, or the next clip, actually, I'm going to put this clip here that I'm making before the clip that I'm correcting. So in the next clip, you're going to see me displaying some of my exes, right? And going through why things didn't work, right? And just showing that it's not me being undercover, and rather just having bad luck with men. But anyway, the ex from the church that I was talking about, you're going to see when you get into the clip. I said this is so irrelevant, but I'm just having OCD, y'all. I want to correct myself. I said he had gotten his bachelor's in physical education, and it was actually exercise science, which I don't think it's that drastically different, but there is a deviation between the 2 degrees. And then the other thing, with my sister, when I was talking about this crush she had on a coworker that worked at McDonald's with her, this was years ago when my sister was much younger. She's, graduated now and living her own life, doing her own thing. She's dated so many men since then. But understand, this was over a decade and change ago. Because remember when I was in the rehab, not over a decade and change ago, I'm over exaggerating. I was, I believe, 24 when I was in the rehab, something like that. And I'm 33 now, y'all. So almost a decade ago. And my sister's 5 years younger than me. So it was my younger sister. She was telling me about, her attraction. I forgot how we even started talking about the thing in the first place. I think she was actually the one that was talking to me about it first. And I started telling her that I can relate because there's this girl in the rehab that whatever. But she was telling me about this coworker of hers that she worked at McDonald's with back in the day. And when she was younger, obviously. And there was an attraction there, so we're both straight heterosexual females, but we did have an attraction to a female that was in close proximity to us. There is that case sometimes. That happens in life sometimes. You can be attracted to the same sex and not be gay. It's possible. It's something that happens all the freaking time, especially if there's something unique about the person or characteristics about the person that you find appealing. That happens. And so that's really what the case was with this girl in the rehab, and kind of the case with this coworker. I'm not trying to date this lady. First of all, again, she's married. She has children. I respect that. And then also, I like men. I want a family myself. I would like to get married and have children myself. And then also, too, she's a coworker, which is messy. And I'm targeted. So it's really just an attraction. I think the problem is that I'm being neuromonitored. There's a false narrative out there. So for this to happen of all times is really horrible timing. And they saw the dream. So I have to talk about it. I wouldn't even talked about it. They would have never known had they not seen my dream. This is why I talked about it, because I had to defend myself. Because of course they tried to run with it. Despite knowing that they've seen the activity in my brain for the last 2 years, and they haven't seen any activity with any females other than her. And actually, again, let me reiterate the key evidence. I'm going to reiterate this again. The whole reason why I knew they were in my brain was because they played against me on the pool game with the name of the Hispanic guy that I was daydreaming about. And those daydreams were intense. Much more intense than what happened with this lady. Anyway, so that's it, y'all. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. This was supposed to be me just correcting, like I said, those 2 things. And I haven't finished making the video yet, y'all. Obviously, when you hear this clip, I will have finished making the video, but I haven't finished making it yet. So I'm going to finish up the video now. Anyway, peace out. Anyways, y'all, so yeah, they just want to keep a perception out there about you. But let me get back to the point. I'm so glad that this is what keeps me focused. When I stop and I listen back to the clip, it's low-key a benefit for me, someone like me, who goes off on tangents, who's let me get back to the point, right? Let me make a correction, though. it wasn't the last clip. In the clip before the last one, I believe, is when I said this. It was either the last clip or the one before the last one. I'm almost certain it was the one before the last clip. When I was discussing that guy from the gym and the hike situation, I said it in the morning times when I was going to the gym. That's not when it happened. It happened when I was going during my regular time in the afternoon, when I was going with all them guys in the gym. Before they started really using the harsh tactics they started using, especially him specifically, that was when he had offered me the number and things were still cool with those guys and I used to kind of talk to them, right? And then I started going in the morning time and the thing with the Italian guy started and then the thing with that other guy started and et cetera, right? It led to whatever is going on in the gym now. But before I started going to the gym in the morning time, in the afternoon time when I was still cool with those guys in the gym or surface level cool, whatever, you're targeted. It's never truly, even if the person's intentions aren't bad, none of these relationships can ever truly be genuine when you're targeted because there are preconceived notions out there about you. There's this stigma of the targeting. But when things were decent with those guys in the gym, yeah, he had given me the number and the guys were telling me about the hike thing. Anyway, excuse me, sorry y'all. Getting back to the point though, because the whole reason I'm putting this kisses to my exes video on, let me rein it back in, was to prove that this is just a small handful, by the way, y'all, of the men I've dated. There have been many, many more. I just put together a small handful of the recent guys that I dated shortly before my targeting. Remember, I've been targeted since 2020 and hardcore targeted since 2022. The thing went viral in 2022. 2022 was where they made it so I couldn't date. Like, it literally, that was impossible. Before 2022, when the targeting was just amping up, I had a boyfriend, a Jamaican boyfriend. And actually, I believe that's why I got some gang stalking from an inmate in the jail yesterday. I'm going to talk about it. He's Jamaican. I'm going to talk about it in a second. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about that in a second. Anyway, y'all, let me stay on point. I'm going to get to that. I wrote that as a note to talk about, so I'll get back to that. But just keep in mind that that's something to be talked about. Because I played this video yesterday, by the way, y'all. I played this video, not yesterday, day before yesterday. And then what happened at work yesterday happened. And in this video, I was talking about my relationship with the Jamaican guy in 2022. I actually knew him since 2019 and why I broke up with him, et cetera, et cetera. And I believe something I said was offensive to that Jamaican inmate. I'm almost certain of it. They're all privy to what's going on with me now, even the inmates. And some of them have access to technology, however they do it. You know how it is in jail. So a lot of them, all of them know the situation now. Like, their reception, just speaking of perceptions and how they warp perceptions, when I first got into the jail, the perception I got from the inmates versus what it turned into after they found out about me, and they made sure to tell these guys about me, and they made sure to make it seem like I was this stink, wretched thing. Like, they really warped my perception in there, right? The reception I got from them when I first got in versus what it turned into is crazy. It's crazy how the targeting works. And even still, with things changed now, a lot of them are still polite and mannerful, but it's not like what it was when I first got in there. Things have changed drastically. And just how it went in there in the jail is how it goes out in real life too, by the way. Anyway, let me get back to the point though. So, I forgot what I was going to say though. Yeah, so the reason I was putting this on though, y'all, not because I started going off on a tangent, was to show you, again, this video though, kisses to my exes, to show you, I'm not going to put the whole video on, obviously, it's a whole hour and 28 minutes. I'm going to fast forward to the part where I was showing my exes and tell you each problem. I said it in this video, you can check it out if you'd like. But again, just go over each problem with just this little small handful of men I've dated so you can see that it's not a I'm on undercover thing. It's a I have bad luck with men type of thing. And I just haven't found the one. And then now I'm targeted. So it's really like, and now I'm targeted on a small island. So it's really like a hiccup now. It's hard for me to even fall for a man, to be honest. And it's not because of me being undercover or anything like that. It's my personality. I'm very selective when it comes to not how you look, my connection with you and chemistry, because I do have a unique personality. And so I don't connect with just anyone. And so when I do find a connection with a guy, that's typically the guys that I really fall for eventually, because it's hard for me to really find that type of connection with a man. I could find you attractive. That's not difficult. There's so many attractive men out there. That's not hard. The hard part for me is the chemistry, finding a man I have chemistry with. Anyway, so that too has been an issue. That's why I don't really fall like that in these relationships. I feel like I'll settle into something because like it'll seem like the person's a decent catch, but the chemistry isn't 100%. That too has been an issue. But then it's also like oftentimes there's literally something that I can't work with these men. Like I just have bad luck with men. Let me show y'all.
I realized he's on the same name as Sharif for me during the daytime. Flu movie, the movie on machine neighborhood with. I don't know if it's like I said before he even. I even did a quick things real quick. There is any of the other people I mentioned. Just I just was trying to itself was it weaponize it again. But after I realized what I'll talk about this, I'm obsessed with talking about it. I could admit.
Okay,
So you
y'all.
wouldn't
So
see
this
his
is
name.
the
Doesn't
Jamaican
matter
guy that I
anyway,
dated,
right?
right? What I was saying with him was he was immature. He was 2 years younger than me. I typically date older, my age or older. He was 2 years younger than me, which is not that big of a deal, right? But the age difference showed. Like, men mature slower than females. They say that, right? It's true. They mature slower than you, and this is why they say it's typically, if possible, it would be good for a female to date a man that's a little older, like maybe 3 to 4 years older if possible. But it doesn't always happen, you know, and it's not a big deal. If you are a female that found love with a younger guy, you know, that happens too. It works, you know. There's not like this specific guideline where it has to be an older man. They say typically it is good for a female to date a man that's a little older because older men tend to be more mature and females mature faster than men. They say like 4 years faster. He was immature, first of all. The issue I had with him initially anyway when I first met him was that he was like this pretty boy type of persona, and he was very rough around the edges, and I believe what I said in this video was offensive to a Jamaican inmate in the prison. Like I said, I'm gonna get back to that. When I said rough around the edges, I don't care about him being rough or being a yardie or whatever the case was, because he was still doing his thing. He was still getting his education, and he was still trying. You don't even have to get an education, whatever you do, even if you get a trade, whatever, as long as it looks like you're putting effort forth and trying to do something productive with yourself. That's all I care about. Like, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Like, as long as you seem like somebody that has a good heart and you're trying to be productive in life, then that's good enough for me. So I was talking to him, and when I say rough around the edges, I just mean like I felt like he was like possibly a player is what I meant. So I didn't specify that when I said rough around the edges and I wasn't interested at first. What I meant was I felt like he was like a player. He seemed like one of them dudes that like pick up girls and, you know, pretty boy type of thing, and like really rough around the edges. That's what I meant. Like, it just looked like he was out there. And so that's why I wasn't interested at first. And then later on down the line, if you listen to the video, I did end up in a relationship with him. Well, that's not why I broke up with him, though. I broke up with him because he was immature. He graduated, right? He got his degree, and he was supposed to take the next step to become, I can't remember if it was an RN or an LPN. I believe it was one notch below RN, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it was LPN or what it was, right? I can't remember. It was so long ago. But nonetheless, he graduated, got his degree, which is, you know, an accomplishment, and then you're just going to throw it away because you can't pass the test. Because to become a nurse, similar to like becoming a lawyer, you know how you have to pass the bar to become a lawyer? So the buck doesn't stop at just getting your degree. You have to go through the schooling, and then you have to take the bar. This is why they have the LSAT, and you practice with the LSAT, and you have to pass the bar to actually become a lawyer. Similar to like doctors, the doctors take the MCAT. So there's a test for these different types of professions, you know, that are specific, you know, like those professions where you're going to be dealing with people's bodily fluids and blood and vitals and, you know, life. You have to take tests, or in the case of being a lawyer, you're dealing with people's lives too in a different way. Like, you're going to be helping just somebody get off, possibly, you know, you're the determining factor of whether or not this person might be convicted or not. So these serious careers like that, you have to take a test. It's not like you just do the schooling. So he went through all this schooling, and then he couldn't pass the test, and he gave up. So I said, you know, when I met him, he had already attempted to take the test and couldn't pass it. He said he tried so many times and this and that. So I said, well, let me help you. I don't mind helping you study. He did not want to hear it. Like, he just didn't even want to like explore that avenue anymore. I just thought it was so strange. He didn't even want me to like get the materials with him and help him study. And that was where I was turned all the way off. Not that he couldn't pass. That's not what the turn off was. It was the fact that he wouldn't try. He didn't want to try. And that's why I said he was immature. That, amongst many other little small things, minor things that added up together, that made it feel like something I couldn't work with. I can work with you if you're having a hard time with something and you're trying. But if you're showing me for something like this, where you went through all that schooling and then you're just willing to throw it away and you're not even going to try, that's to me like an indicator of what life is going to look like with you. That's just how I feel. And I don't think I'm wrong for saying that. And I don't think that makes me a bitch or undercover for feeling that way. So that's what it was with him, right? So it was something I couldn't work with. Moving on, this one wasn't even as bad as the others. Let's go to the others, because the others, what was going on with them was much worse.
You could see he usually lasts. That's a flop. This is him.
Yeah, so that's the Jamaican guy.
What happened? Guy that was on the basket. Of course, the age hadn't started. No typical. He was a really you friends with him, right? He does.
Sorry, y'all. I was just trying to show y'all how they tried to use him in my targeting recently, like in 2023 when I had gotten back from trying to relocate off island and things went viral. I talked about him in one of my videos. All of a sudden, the man found my Facebook. Him and I have no mutual friends. He's from Florida. His background is different to mine. He's Jamaican. I'm from the Virgin Islands. I'm half Trini. You know, there's no connection other than us meeting in Florida. They reached out to him, gave him my Facebook. I didn't even have my full real name on Facebook. All of a sudden, the man starts spamming up my thing, right? So anyways, moving on from him though. That's what I was talking about here. That's why all that talking was going on. Moving on. If y'all could check out the video for yourself if you want to hear the details about this.
Even have his. I blocked himself. Had his own business, right?
This was the next dude, y'all. Okay, let's talk about him. What was going on with him? This man was married. He was separated. This is the only, because they tried to paint the home wrecker thing. I've never dealt with a married man aside from him. He's the only married man I've ever dealt with, and he was separated and living separately from his. I don't know if they've gone through with the divorce now, so I don't want to refer to her as ex-wife and then they rekindled things. But his soon-to-be, supposedly soon-to-be ex-wife, they were living completely separate. He had his own apartment. She had her own apartment where she lived with him, with his daughter. They had a child together, right? He lived by himself. So him and I, when I met him, what am I trying to say? Sorry, they started making noises outside, y'all. To the naked eye, it would seem like he was a single man that wasn't married. He eventually told me, after I had already started liking him, after he done started cooking for me and doing all this stuff and seeming like this good guy, that's when he eventually told me that he was separated. And he started telling me the sordid details about what was going on with this girl. So I had already started liking him, and he proved to me that he was separated, you know, and of course I'm only hearing his side of the story. And he's making it seem like she was this loose, you know, thing, like he was treating her so good and he was doing all, and I could believe it because he had already started doing that to me. He was cooking for me. He was making all kinds of stuff, you know, helping me with my work, you know, picking me up. At the time my car was down, he was picking me up, giving me rides all over the place. So to me, it seemed like he was the perfect guy. I was like, yeah, okay, if he was doing what he's doing for me, for her, dang, she's a bitch. That was the perception. But of course, you can't always go by somebody's side of the story. There's always three sides to the story. There's one person's side, the other person's side, and then the truth. And oftentimes the truth lies somewhere in between. Anyway, so he was painting it like she was this horrible person, and, you know, he was this good father and this good doting husband to her, and she kept cheating, and, you know, like she was some sort of nymphomaniac, and that's the way he was making it seem, like she was some sort of loose thing that kept cheating. Next thing you know, I noticed the guy, you know, I several times caught him communicating with her, and it seemed like it was more than just communication about their daughter. And then he went on a date with her for Father's Day. She took him out to dinner on Father's Day, and I found out about it. And he's explaining to me that it was for their daughter. That doesn't make any sense. The daughter was 2 or 3 at the time, you know, a little girl. Like, she doesn't know what the hell is going on. She don't know that y'all are going out to dinner. You know, so how is it for your daughter? That didn't make any sense to me. And I realized that more was going on. I think they might have still been messing, dealing off and on. And I think there was, you know, they could have possibly turned into something where he got back with her and I would have been left in the cold, or I would have been the one to get hurt in the situation. So I could not work with this. As much as he seemed like a good catch, the situation, you just never mess with a married man. I don't care if they're separated or not. If the divorce hasn't happened, don't do it. He's the only married man I ever dealt with. Again, he was separated and he proved it. And I didn't really find out until after I had already started liking him. He did that strategically. Anyway, so I couldn't work with him. That wasn't me being on the DL. It was a very weird situation. So there's this guy now, right? Yo, let me stop. This guy is the guy that was from my church, right? When I first went up to school, I'm not meaning to laugh like that, y'all. It's just, my God. When I first went up to school for the second time, right? Where I recently went up and got my degree, my English degree. For those 2 years when I was up there, when I first went up there, my sister and I, my younger sister and I, started going to my older sister's church. We're Hebrew. Well, I don't really subscribe as Hebrew anymore, y'all. I've been through a lot of weird stuff, and I don't know if the Most High is trying to tell me something or whatever the case is. I believe in the Most High, I believe in the Bible. I don't subscribe to being Hebrew anymore specifically. I just believe in the Bible and I'm trying to live right. That's it. Anyways, at the time that I was Hebrew. And so we went to my older sister and her husband. They have a church up there that they go to. And so when my younger sister and I went up there for school, of course, we started going to the church. So we were like the fresh meat in the church, my sister and I. And so all the men were trying to talk to us, and, you know, we ended up very quickly talking to different guys. My sister ended up talking to this guy's friend, my younger sister. I ended up talking to him, dating him. The relationship moved quick because of him. Because we were in the church and we were trying to do things biblically, he rushed things right along, like flying me into the relationship and all these different things because he wanted to get sexual quick. I don't want to go into too many details, y'all, but this was something I couldn't work with. That's all I'm saying. Like, he was trying to move quick with everything, and he rushed along a whole relationship, I think just to get in my pants, to be honest with you, because he knew we were in the church. So we were in an actual relationship. I was going to the functions with him and everything. But I noticed it's like he had a problem. Like, everywhere we went, he was checking females out in front of me. The coup de grace for me was when we were sitting in one of the church functions, and my sister and I, we had friends in there, obviously. One of the females that we used to go out with, she was literally our friend. She's sitting in one aisle in front of us. She gets up to leave the church to go get something from her vehicle. He's breaking his neck watching her leave the church. It was just so disrespectful. I was just like so freaking perturbed. And at this time, I was with him. We had already done stuff too. So it's like I just kept trying to like make it work and look past what I knew was major red flags. Like, he was screaming cheater. He was screaming it. Like, he wasn't even trying to hide the fact that he was checking females out in front of you. If a man has that blatant of a disregard for, you know, you're respecting you, then imagine what he's going to do when you're not there. If he's doing that while you're sitting there. So anyways, I was trying to tell my sisters about it, and they felt like it was me, and you finding something with the relationship again. You just don't like him. This, and I was like, why wouldn't I like him? You know, he had everything going for him. He was about to graduate. You know, had already had his bachelor's degree in physical education. He was a personal trainer at the gym. So him and I were into the same stuff, fitness. But he wasn't done. He was still doing more. He was in the process of going to EMT school, and he was about to become a firefighter. He did actually become a firefighter after we broke up. But he was literally about to become a firefighter, and I was about to graduate with my bachelor's in English. So we both had stuff going for us, and we had a lot in common. Like how I like to write lists and stuff and organize stuff, he was the same way. So we did have a lot in common, and there was chemistry there, but I can't work with this. Like, I knew it, and I was right too. Because when I broke up with him, he got with another female, and he ended up having a baby on her. He flew through a relationship with her too. He seemed like he's just one of those kind of guys that fly into stuff. Flew into a relationship with her, ended up cheating on the girl and having a baby on her. And she still turned around and married him. I think she just felt like he was a good catch, and so she was willing. Some females don't mind that type of stuff. Like, they're willing to work with a dude that, I don't know, is a serial cheater or whatever. I can't. That's not me. I don't like that. I don't want that. So anyway, she married him, and he had a baby on her. Not to put his business out there, but he's a random dude from Florida. I'm here in the islands. Like, nobody knows who this guy is. So anyway, I couldn't work with him. Okay, so I don't need to talk about him, y'all, and what happened with him. This wasn't a situation where he did anything to me. It was me, right? And then later on, he kind of just got revenge. Like, he got a lick back on me later on down the line. With him, you could genuinely say this was me not finding something wrong with the relationship. I was just young. I had just went up to school. I was 18. I had just graduated from high school, and I went up to college. And similar to the last guy, I got in a relationship really quick with this guy. But that was because him and I really had chemistry. He's one of the guys in life, because remember I told you there's not many guys in life that I've had chemistry with. He's one of the few handful of men in life that I had like real chemistry with. I'm telling you, real chemistry. And so him and I used to stay up all night talking. Like, it used to annoy my sister sometimes because she could hear us through the walls. We stayed in an apartment together. This was before she was married to her husband. So she was with her at the time. He was her boyfriend. And I was with this guy, and they were both Haitian too. So it was like this cool Haitian connection, and they both used to get along. And, you know, me and my sister were from the islands, and we were dating these two Haitian guys, and we're staying in the apartment together. It was a cool vibe. But it was just too fast for me, is really what it was. We were moving like a married couple. He was living with me, just like similar to how my sister was living with her boyfriend. Except the only difference is my sister and her boyfriend were together at that point for like 3 years, where me and this guy had just gotten together. You know, we were already living like that, like, because the chemistry was so strong. You know, we were living together. He had an apartment. He abandoned his apartment. He moved all his stuff out and moved it into my apartment. You know, we were living together. This was the first time I had ever lived with a man. This was my first time out of the house. And right away, I'm living with this man and feeling married. And so even though we had the chemistry and stuff, I just felt like married, and I felt like kind of stuck into it. Even though we had chemistry, I just felt like, damn, I wanted to come up here and date. I wanted to go to this place and that place and meet people. And I started feeling like locked into the relationship. I even told my sister about it. And then I went home, and something happened when I went home. This is what they made them paint me like a villain. I saw this guy from high school that I thought I was in love with, and I got butterflies, and I'm kind of impulsive in that way. I'm not an impulsive person. I like to think things through. I really do. But when it comes to matters of the heart and things that I just feel won't work, I move pretty swiftly with it. And so I had already kind of been feeling locked into the relationship, and just kind of like, damn, I feel like a married woman. Like, he came too soon. Like, why didn't he come later in life is how I felt. It's like, I'm not ready for all of this. I'm only 18. And then I go home and, you know, add, stuff to, what is it? The straw that broke the camel's back, I guess. I see the guy from high school. And you have to understand, at that time, I was only 18. So, of course, those feelings were still fresh. High school was just last year, you know, a year or two ago when I saw him. We had just gotten out of high school. So those feelings were still there. And so I saw him, and I got the butterflies and stuff. Him and I didn't even, it wasn't like we had communication about dating each other or anything like that. He asked me for my number. He gave me a big hug. I gave him my number. We probably talked like 2 or 3 times while I was back home. It wasn't like we were talking to be together or anything, but it's just like that feeling, that butterfly feeling, that feeling of being alive, like that. I can't really explain it when you think you're in love with someone. There's a difference between loving someone and there's a difference between being in love, loving someone, and being infatuated. And I realized later, as maturity came and as I grew into a woman, that what I felt for that guy in high school was infatuation. It wasn't love. I didn't love him, nor was I in love with him. I loved him as a best friend because we really were good friends. But I realized it was infatuation. I was infatuated with him. You know, he was a pretty boy, and not that that matters, but you have to understand, in high school, I was like going through this awkward phase where I was just coming into myself. I was a tomboy and stuff. And so a lot of the guys I dated were like more rough around the edges, or, not that, so when he came through and asked me for my number and we started talking, I don't know. I just didn't even think I could get a guy like that, to be honest with you. And so that's what it was, really. We were friends. We weren't together. We were friends. But he used to call me all the time. Like, we were on the phone all night long. Like, for 2 years, he was just calling me every night. And then he used to drop hints. It seemed like he liked me. I even remember when I went to go get my driver's license, I went into driving school. The next day, he was in driving school with me. Like, these are the things he used to do. He wanted me to come to the shopping center to meet his mom. Like, little things like that where I was like, does this guy like me? He even used to tell me stuff that felt, it was just immature, stupid stuff. We were both immature. And I think, too, to be honest with you, I keep saying this, and I really genuinely feel this way. I think he did like me, and I think he was embarrassed about it because I was kind of nerdy. I wasn't like completely nerdy, but I was that tomboyish, nerdy kind of girl. I played basketball and stuff, and I wasn't really known like that in high school, and he was like more of one of those guys that was known, and it was just one of those things. I think he didn't expect to have chemistry with me. I think he was asking a lot of girls for their number. He asked me for mine, and we ended up talking, and we just ended up clicking and hitting off, and I think that's what it was. But I fell for him, so I'm real about that. And so I felt that butterfly feeling. It was infatuation, not love. And I threw away, I think, real love for infatuation. But at the same time, too, with this guy, like I said, it was just too soon. Even if that thing hadn't happened, I think I would have still broke up with him. Because I had already started feeling like, damn, I'm married and I'm only 17, 18. Like, whoa. So that's what it was with him. There wasn't anything wrong with him. It was me. But it wasn't a me thing like I'm undercover or on the down low or anything like that. I just told you I had an infatuation with this guy from high school that gave me butterflies. What it was I just felt like it was too soon to be locked into such a serious relationship. I'm staying on this too long. Yeah, I'm just trying to prove a point though, that I'm straight. I like men. I have liked men the whole history of my life. It's not like one of those people that knew they were gay from the time they were young and they had this attraction to the. I've never had an attraction to females. My first attraction to a female, let me tell you, it's been two. I'm an honest person. I'm not a liar. I'm a very honest person. My first attraction to a female, aside from this girl at my job, was when I was in the rehab. So when I had gotten back home from living in Tallahassee in my early 20s, and the stuff that popped off with this same ex that's on the screen popped off. Because if you listen to my stories, you'll hear that stuff transpired with him after I broke up with him. Like 2 years later, him and I kind of got back together, but he was like leading me on, and he ended up taking my virginity, which I had held on to, by the way, right? All the way up until age 21. He took it and he ended up like leading me on for like a year and change. Anyway, so it was like this traumatic thing for me, and I lost a lot of weight, and I started drinking, and there were other things going on in my life too at the time, and it led to drinking. So when I ended up moving back home from Tallahassee, where I was at with him and that situation, I became a blackout drunk. It culminated in a rape eventually. But nonetheless, during the stint where I was a blackout drunk here on island, I went to rehab, and in the rehab I met this girl that was a model. Like, she was like a real she was really a beautiful girl. Like, I have to admit, right? Like, you can admit when somebody's really attractive, whether it's a guy or a female. She really had unique features. Like, she could have been a model for real. And she was kind of in that same circle with the people that I used to go to school with. Remember I told you I went to private school? For most of my life, I went to private school all the way up until 8th grade. And then 9th through 12th grade, I went to public school. So there was like, I've been in every circle you can think of here on island, and she was associated with those people that I went to private school with and stuff. But she wasn't from here. That's the crazy thing. I think she had family from here, but she was mulatto, half white and half black, and she actually had come from living in the States. That's why she was on the drugs that she was on. She was doing some modeling in New York. And she was really on some hard stuff. Like, I was in there for liquor. She was in there for meth, crack, the hard stuff, because she got introduced to that lifestyle at a young age up in the States. So she was on the hard stuff. Hold on, y'all. I just start making notes with their stupidness. Let me make sure the video's still going, y'all. Okay, good, it is. Yeah, but I'm an honest person. I'm not allowed to make it or not. My genuineness is what's gotten me this far in the first place. I don't care. I have had an attraction to a female before, prior to this girl at my job. One other female, and I told my sister about it because she was going through the same thing. She was telling me about this girl she was working with at McDonald's that she was having some sort of attraction to too. Anyway, we're not gay. We like men. It happens. It can happen. Anyway, y'all, let me stop this though and listen to the video. Let me stop this and listen to what I've said so far. Trying to run with that. They're crazy. Anyways, y'all, here to finish up the video. I'm going to try. As you can see at the top of the screen, it's 4 a.m., right? I'm at work. I get off in 2 hours. And at this post specifically, this is one of the only posts where workers come in early, like before my shift ends. Like, all now they could pull up any minute. They usually pull up around 4. And so it's going to be awkward trying to make this video while they're here because, I'm being targeted, and so everyone around has access to these cameras that are on me. So if I'm sitting here alone on a post, even though I know I'm being stared at, it's not as awkward as the person being on the premises with you while you're trying to make a video. So I don't even know if I'm going to sit here and finish this video. I'm going to try to at least get through most of it or, some of it before they pull up. But I do want to, I'm in this group chat and I didn't need to. I do want to try to finish up the video, y'all. It's actually the next day, I didn't end up finishing from that last clip where I ended the clip where I was talking about that girl from the rehab. This is now the next day, actually. So trying to hurry up and get through these points here that I want to talk about. So just, going through that video, though, Kisses to My Exes, I was just trying to show you that narrative that they were trying to spin about me being an undercover on the down low and, that's why my relationships didn't work. That's not the case. It was literally that I have just had horrible luck with men. And that's how it is sometimes in life. The Most High does everything for a reason. Whatever you believe, whatever your belief system is. I believe in the Most High. I feel like he does everything for a reason and in perfect timing. And, maybe those things didn't work out because whoever is meant for me will eventually come along the way. I mean, I'm going through this tough trial right now, so I'm not really expecting that right now. But hopefully soon I'll be out of this thing and I can really live my life for real, the way that I deserve to. But there's a reason why those things didn't work out. But it wasn't me being on the down low or undercover. Anyway, so I just wanted to, use that as evidence as well, just talking about those relationships and expounding on them. So the next thing I want to talk about, finish talking about female coworker and programming. So I do want to finish up talking about this coworker though, because that's kind of what led to me segueing into talking about my prior relationships and, how they tried to paint it like I'm this undercover. This is not the case. With this coworker, as I said already, you would have heard that clip by now. There's a clip I created just now that I'm going to put before the clip where I was showing my exes. So I'm sure with the way I'm putting the video together, you obviously have heard those clips already. Um, you know, I'm not, it's not anything that's really that serious, like what they're trying to make it. They're just trying to antagonize me. They don't like me. Obviously I've said offensive things. It's not fair. It was due to illegal targeting, and overdue in punishment because of an innocent text I sent 4 years and change ago at this point. It led to these horrible reactions to things that took place or followed the text, the things that happened to me. But still inexcusable, right? I should have tried to, react differently, I suppose, to antagonization and being stalked by hundreds and hundreds of people and surveilled and being watched naked and all these other things that were happening. You can't define how a person's going to react, especially to that type of heinous treatment. But nonetheless, I don't stand by the offensive things I said or shared. It was anger. And even now, still, I'm having bad reactions, to be honest with y'all. It's just not as bad as before. I've learned my lesson. But anyways, with this coworker, though, it is what it is. There's an attraction there, right? She's married. I'm not interested in dating her, right? It's not me trying to date her or wanting to be with her. They're doing all kinds of stuff, man, y'all. They're trolling the hell out of me. And it's low-key, I just be sitting there laughing because it's low-key entertaining, even though I'm the butt of the joke. At this point, when you get targeted to the level that I'm targeted at, and you've been targeted this long with the spotlight on you and being roasted continuously and having all these people against you, you do build like this tough exterior, and you do become desensitized to things. So things that probably typically would hurt the average person, you could actually chuckle at it. You might actually find it comical. And that's the point I'm at in the targeting. So it has made me stronger in that way. But a lot of it's just funny to me. Like all kind of directed convo on with the shadow networking. They're sending this big burly ass chick in the jail. And she's pressing up on this chick that came into the jail that was like this newbie in the fucking jail. It was on shadow networking. This ad that came on. This was at work today, by the way, y'all. So this is not even talking about yesterday or what happened at work. Yes, well, technically now it's getting confusing. Technically it was yesterday because you can see it's 4 a.m. and I'm only now getting back to making a video. So I've had a whole day of work since those first clips you heard when I was making the video and these things and this text message occurred. I've had a whole day of work since then. So technically it was yesterday when I was hearing stuff. Oh, God. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They're sending all kinds of stuff, though, with the shadow networking software. You know how they hack all of your technological devices or anyone in the vicinity near you. You can be sitting next to a coworker who's on a computer. They'll hack that internet system and start sending the shadow networking. It's just so creepy, y'all. They're sending something about this burly ass chick in the jail, and she was the chick in the prison that was running things because she was really tough. And this new girl came into the jail, got arrested for some petty thing, and she said, "Hey, you're cute." And she started pressing up on the girl, and look, I was cracking up inside. Like, it's just so hilarious. It's so not that. First of all, this girl is not. It's not like she's this like small, helpless. Part of the attraction is the fact that I know that she's kind of like this badass chick because I told you all in prior videos I've heard stories about her and how she's one of the toughest chicks in the corrections and how she fights male inmates and she's dealt with male inmates, broken up fights where big, huge knives were involved, apparently. All of that adds to the allure or the attraction. And then also she has a canine dog and she's not some helpless, small, hapless female. that I'm trying to take advantage of. And even if she were small and hapless, I wouldn't be trying to take advantage. That's not even my personality. I'm not the kind to press up on people at all. In fact, with this girl, I've been hiding from her because the whole thing is humiliating to me. First of all, I really wish that they didn't know about it. They do, and it is what it is. But I'm not the kind to press up on people that I like, even men. I've never been the kind to press up or push up on someone. Any relationship that I've ever been in, I was the one that was approached. I never hit on people. The only reason they know about what's going on with this girl is because they're in my brain, unfortunately. They wouldn't have even known that there was an attraction there if they weren't in my brain. I'm not the kind to press up on it. So I'm just laughing my ass off. I'm like, this is so not me. But just laughing. And then also, too, that's so not her because she's not this helpless, damsel in distress that I'm going to just take advantage of. Like, this girl looked like she could give me a good fight. I'm really strong. I'm not going to lie. Like, I work out consistently, right? She's not that much older than me. I believe she's like 5 years older than me. She looks tough. She looks athletic. Like I feel like she could give me a good fight if we were gonna brawl or anything. I don't even think I could take advantage of her if I even wanted to, which I don't. That's not my personality. But it's just hilarious to me the kind of shit that they're doing. And they just turned this into a big freaking clown show, man. It's a hot mess. Anyway, so it's not that. It's not me trying to press up on the girl or anything like that. There's an attraction there, and that's all it is. That's where the buck ends. It stops there. It's just an innocent attraction. They just happen to know about it. I'm targeted. There's this false narrative out there that they're purposely trying to throw at me to be spiteful. And so that's where the issue comes in. It's nothing more than that. We're co-workers. We're going to get the job done. She's married. It's cool. I want to get married too, eventually. I'm not gay. I find her attractive. That's it. End of story. And again, it's really just, like I said, certain characteristics about her that I find appealing. I think it's appealing that she's a badass. I think it's appealing that she rocks cut hair that's blonde and she has like this stark dark skin in contrast to the blonde hair. All of these things are cool to me. I think it's just cool. I think she's cool. That's what it is. Really, and I believe that's what the attraction is. I'm just being honest. And also too, I think programming plays a part in things too. Because like I said, for the last few months, since that thing in the gym, they've been hardcore pushing the gay thing at me with the shadow networking. And this is literally MK Ultra programming. When you're seeing this stuff constantly, I told you guys already how this works. It's just like ads. Like when you're in the movie theater and they keep popping on the screen Coke every so often, every so often you see an ad about Coke, and then Coke pops in your head and you say, oh, let me go get a Coke. And you don't even realize you got programmed from them ads that was popping on the screen while you were watching the movie. Like they're literally programming this gay narrative into my head. I'm traumatized already from this freaking narrative that they painted from the text message. I have reactions to females that I wasn't having before leaving Island. I keep saying that. I made a video about this nurse in the facility already because they keep trying to low-key use her too. And I'm not even attracted to her like that. No disrespect. She's an attractive woman. I'm not attracted to her like that. Right? But because I sat there and I had this stupid reaction with her, by the way, which I was glad that the reaction happened with an older coworker today too. And they were laughing at it, but they didn't realize that I was going to use that in this video as evidence to prove my point. Right? This older coworker, today I had to go around and get some evaluation forms filled out. Right? I have to get an evaluation form done every time I sit underneath a corrections officer. Remember, I'm doing this shadowing thing. And so for a good few days, I missed, getting the evaluation form. I forgot to give it to the CO that was over me. So I had to go around today and, contact some of these COs that I had sat under and let them fill out the evaluation form. So one of the COs I sat under that I didn't get the form filled out for was this older lady, right? She's approaching elderly. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't know her age. And, with women, it's a funny thing with age. Like, that can be offensive. I don't want to say anything offensive, but if I were to guess, looking at her, I hope I'm not saying anything offensive. I would guess that she were in her 50s. I don't know if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe late 40s. I would say anywhere from late 40s to mid 50s if I were to guess her age. Anywhere from late 40s to mid 50s. No disrespect. I hope I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not attracted to her at all. No disrespect, right? But I'm standing there talking to her.
right? And I'm just trying to drop the form off and go about my business. Every officer I'm dropping the form off to, they're giving me this, kind of giving me a hard time. She's like, you filled out the form. You gave me all the forms every time you sat under me. I said, I think this day I didn't. I said, the supervisor looked in the book. You're the officer I was with this day. She's looking through her book. No, you're not. And kind of going back and forth with me. There's another officer I went to, this guy. He's like, why do you guys, every time, it's the same thing with different officers. Why do you have to fill this out? They never did this before. I said, I don't know. This is what they're doing now. I have to fill out the form. It's not a big deal. Just circle whatever rating, check no if it's no, and just, let me take the form. It's like a back and forth with several of them sometimes, because they don't want to fill out the form, and it's just a form. Like, just circle whatever. Just give me the form and let me turn it in. I don't want to do it either. Like, this is something they're making me do. I'm not printing it out and coming to you. I don't want to do this. I have to do it. So anyway, so, it was a back and forth with her. It was a back and forth with another officer. But nonetheless, I'm going back and forth with her about it. And I'm aware all the time. I'm always keenly aware of the fact that I'm being stared at, right? I never forget. So I'm always feeling awkward. Like, they even laugh and make noises sometimes when my body starts to tremble. And it happens ever so often. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to, right? So now I'm talking to her, going back and forth. And so now she's looking through her book and I'm looking at her. This scandal with this coworker, the one that I truly am attracted to, is already happening as it is. It's already like this big shit show, clown show, right? So I'm really feeling on edge. And I already always feel like I'm being watched. I already know that they're watching me. I always feel on edge. But now, like, that this thing is happening, I feel even more awkward about being watched. Like, you don't understand. I feel even more sensitized to females. It's like opening old wounds, kind of. I've been with this coworker so many times and I acted awkward with her. Like, so many freaking times with this lady. She's an older lady again, I reiterate. I'm not attracted to her. Okay? She's looking, she's looking through her book. I start getting awkward. I watch her. I don't know what to look at. I don't know if I should look at the book. While she's looking through the book, I don't know where I should look, while they're watching me. So I turn and I look away. I get awkward. Of course, as soon as I move from by her, the birds are going off. I'm hearing laughing from every direction. I'm like, God. This is what it is. Y'all, so the people are here now that I told you guys about. So I'm going to finish the video later.
Yeah, y'all, I'm back. I made a mistake in the last clip and I said so many times and acted awkward. I meant to say act awkward. I have sat and trained with this lady. In fact, I feel comfortable training with her. That's what I like about training with her, is because she's one of the older COs. And so typically with this reaction that I'm now having to females, typically the older women don't make me feel as awkward. But I've said this in several videos, all women make me feel awkward. It doesn't matter if you freaking 80. I feel awkward. I'm so sensitized and traumatized from what has been done to me systematically. And before leaving Island, y'all, when I was still teaching, I wasn't even having these reactions to females. This didn't start until I tried to relocate off Island. I reiterate, before I tried to relocate in 2022, I used to hug my female students, children, high schoolers. I used to walk in the hallway. I was leaving the school and I used to dress more girly back then too, because I was teaching. I was wearing heels. I was wearing dresses. I had my hair pressed out, flat ironed, lipstick. I was really, I'm telling you, very much so into my feminine, right? Right now I'm kind of dressing tomboyish. I'm working a correction officer job where it's more of a tough job, and so I'm wearing boots, combat boots, and like one of those badass like military type chicks now. And I've always had that type of persona inside of me because I am a tomboy, right? But typically, like, over the last few years, I've been more feminine and dressing like a girl with heels and dresses and teaching, and so now they're seeing a more rough side of me. Of course, they would want to run with that. But when I was teaching, I was dressing like a female, right? You couldn't tell that I was a tomboy unless I told you. And my students used to run up to me, the female ones in particular, the guys too, the boys, but mainly the female ones run up, Miss Nurse, Miss Nurse. And they'd give me a big hug and I hugged them. And I wasn't trembling and I wasn't acting awkward and I wasn't looking away like I don't know which way to put my eyes. This is a shit show and it's being done spitefully to humiliate me. They know look at the chirping they're doing outside. They know I've been traumatized. They know the things that I've been through when I tried to relocate off Island. They know that these responses to females now is a PTSD reaction, even to the point where my body trembles. This wasn't happening before. And they run with it. But anyway, I was actually so relieved, as much as they were laughing and stuff, when the thing happened with that older corrections officer yesterday, because I was like, thank God, actually, because now they can stop trying to, insert this nurse ever so often, because it's the same thing. I even talked about what happened with that nurse that day. I actually did a video about it. Let me see if I could go and show y'all. And y'all, the proof is in the pudding. They're in my brain. They've seen my dreams and they've seen my thoughts. They know who I've thought about from who I haven't. The proof is in the pudding. Anyway, that's all I need to say. Anyway, let me come over here. Trying to see which video it was. I believe it's the villainization of the targeted individual. It's either that one or the gang stalking experience at my new job. I'm not sure which one it is. I believe it's the villainization of the targeted individual, though. I believe, yeah, because the gang stalking experience at my new job, I remember what that video was, where the inmate was screaming, I need to shit, I need to, whatever, and then they had the other detainee come in and he was talking about whatever he was talking about. I don't even want to mention it, the really hate low stuff. So that was what that was. I believe it was the villainization of the targeted individual, this video from 3 weeks ago where I talked about what happened with the nurse. It was either that or the part 2 targeted individual living with Asperger's. I can't remember which one, y'all. For sure, excuse me, for sure it was either the part 2 targeted individual living with Asperger's or it was the villainization of the targeted individual video. One of those 2 videos where I talked about that experience, that awkward PTSD reaction that I had with the nurse and the noises that I was hearing outside the window and the fly flying by and my lips being dry and cracked. I definitely got them together now, and her putting on the chapstick after she looked down at my lips, and me starting to act awkward after that. So they do try to insert her sometimes, not often, but ever so often. Like yesterday morning, I noticed she went out of her way to talk to me about the insurance, and she's always nice to me. But then she kind of hesitated, and she said like something weird at the end of, talking to me. She said baby or something like that. It was the way she said it. It was just, I'm just getting a vibe from it. Like they're trying to low-key, not hardcore, because I think they know they're in my brain. I think they realize that's not a thing. But still low-key just trying to like throw her in there every now and then a little bit. But it's just PTSD, y'all. Like these reactions with females, it's PTSD reactions that I've been having with women. It's horrible, and it's different to actually feeling an attraction towards someone like what's felt towards that coworker, which is, it's just an innocent attraction, nothing more, nothing less. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. So I do believe programming plays a part in it, though, y'all. They even sent me this weird thing over the last few days. It was this weird thing. They've been sending me beats, and I've been making music recently. They sent me a beat called, I forgot what the name of it was. It was something with a P. Palace something. I can't remember the name of it. And so I looked the word up because I wanted to write a freestyle to it. So I needed to know what the word meant. When I looked the word up, apparently it was some sort of Greek mythology type thing where it was this guy that was cursed with having a strong passion or love for a white horse. It was a curse they put on him. And then I looked down further. After I scroll past that bit, I was like, they're ridiculous. I see a video that says mind control. So they've been slowly but kind of low-key hinting to me too that it could possibly be some mind control stuff happening. I'll admit, I do find her to be fascinating. I think she's cool, like I said, and different. And I think that's what the allure is with her, and the fact that she's, like I said, a badass. And kind of similar to what was going on with that girl in the rehab. Even though it's 2 different looks, they look completely different. Like one is dark skin, like I said, and the other one was mulatto, totally different look. It's still just, I think, the persona too, because that girl was kind of a badass as well. It's like these females that are in their feminine, but they still have a masculineness to them where they're like a badass, and I can't explain it. I think that's what the allure is too. But more than that, I also think, and it reminds me of myself, by the way, if you're not catching on, but then also I think specifically with this situation, I think something's going on with the mind control and the neuromonitoring, because how is it for the last 2 years, I haven't had any type of attraction towards a female. They've thrown all kinds of women at me purposefully. They haven't seen any activity in my brain about any female, and I haven't had an attraction to any female. What I've had is attraction to men. And I've had daydreams about men, and then they'll make my ear ring, and I catch on, and I remember, and I stop. It's so humiliating. Because, as a person, you daydream. I mean, everybody does, especially if you're someone with ADD. Aside from, like I said, them letting me know that they were in my head in the first place, the way that they notified me, again, key evidence, was by playing against me on the pool game with the Hispanic guy I was daydreaming about. Now, those were some intense daydreams. It wasn't like what happened with this girl. But anyways, that, first of all, the key evidence. But then over the course of the last 2 years, every now and then, I start to daydream. You forget that they're in your thoughts. It's so invasive and creepy, this technology. And I'll start daydreaming about a guy, and then I'll hear my right ear ringing, and I'll stop. You hear them chirping? Because they know it's happened several times. So she is literally the only female out of all the females they've thrown at me, the only one that I actually did find an attraction to. So it's just crazy. They're just antagonizing me. Moving on to the next thing. Before I move on, though, let me just show y'all about this technology. Let me just play a video for y'all. I have to. Because this could be mind thought manipulation and the low neuromonitoring interference. I would not be surprised, aside from just the programming that's taking place, and I'm constantly throwing the narrative at me. First of all, this video, mind reading technology used on targets, and y'all see the thumbnail that says researchers unveil mind reading tech. I want y'all to check that out when you get a chance. I have the link to that in the description box and comment section as well. But it's... First of all, this video, evidence of mind control technology used on targets, where you see the big microchip in the brain as the thumbnail. That video is full of evidence, right? Where I break down different technologies that are used on targets. And I even show another target that's experienced dream manipulation, right? I have a bunch of links in this video that link to videos talking about this technology. Before I hop into this video and show y'all some stuff, let me just quickly show you the patent for the technology so you know that this is real technology.
Hello, welcome back to my
Patent for
channel.
synthetic telepathy, right? This is from Michael Barden's TikTok. Michael Barden is a target. He's been a target for years, way longer than me. I don't know how the man does it. But he's in some serious stuff, something with the military, and I think he was a whistleblower, and so not like me, low petty stuff where I just pissed off powerful people and said annoying things. Like he, I believe, was an actual whistleblower. Look to fly in the big insect drone now to paint another false, stupid ass narrative. Anyway, I don't know anything, and everything that I've shared is stuff that's public information that I've looked up that anyone could find. And even this diagram you see on the screen, I have a video with this diagram as well, y'all. So you can look through my videos. I think I have the link to the video with this diagram in the description box as well. You can see the capabilities of the technology. Look in the upper right-hand corner, right? The top upper right-hand corner. It says reading and broadcasting thoughts, right? Vivid, controlled dreams. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see induced changes to hearing, forced memory blanking, and induced erroneous actions, meaning they can control your body if they want to. So just understand that they can control your dreams, they can control your body. There's so much capabilities that this technology has. It's real scary. But let me not stay on this diagram, right? Look at this. Look at this stuff from Michael Barden. Look at this.
This is a book called Project Soulcatcher, written by a guy named Dr. Robert Duncan, who just happened to work for.
Now, Robert Duncan, guys, there's a video from Robert Duncan in my description box and comment section if you check it out. He talks in depth about this technology. He's one of the progenitors of the technology, and he's a Harvard scientist and doctor, right? He wrote a book about it because he's pro-transhumanism. So he's obviously for the technology, but he doesn't agree with the way that it's being used on targets. He doesn't agree with it being used on people without their consent. He does realize that that's morally unethical. And so that's why he's speaking out and sharing info about it. He's pro this agenda. He's just not pro using it on people that didn't consent. He realizes that that's an infringement on human rights and it's unethical. All right, so anyways,
CIA,
listen though.
DARPA, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you ever heard of the BRAIN Initiative signed by President Obama? Check it out. You can look this up easily. So,
this was Obama signing the BRAIN Initiative. When Obama was in office, he signed the BRAIN Initiative, which actually put forth a bill for the use of funds to fund the the advancement of this technology and to propel the use of it on individuals, i.e. targeted individual program. But the program's been around for years, by the way, y'all. But there's been a recent amp up in it, and over the last decade, and this is why.
With this technology on people that never gave their consent. Did I mention there's a U.S. patent for this technology?
Here's the patent, y'all. Here is the U.S. patent. You can look it up yourself. There's a patent for the technology.
And it's right here. First patented in 2003. Now, you heard me mention the National Institute of Health. This right here is Christine Grady. She just happens to be the head of human experimentation for the National Institute of Health, who happens to be married to Dr. Anthony Fauci. Imagine that.
All right, y'all, so I'm not going to stand it any longer. I just wanted to show y'all that. So I understand that this technology is some serious stuff, and it really exists, and it really can, you know, let me go click on something else, y'all. I didn't mean to get like that. I'm hearing someone on the porch. That's why I kind of got how I did. Hold on a second, y'all.
Emulate.
Sorry about end to the last clip, y'all. It was morning time when that clip was being made. Excuse me. And someone in my close circle was leaving to go to work. And as I've told y'all in prior videos, oh, let me turn this fan off. Sorry about that, y'all. But someone in my close circle was leaving. As I've told you all in prior videos, my room is connected to the porch, and so when anyone comes in or leaves, you can hear it in the video. You know, I know you guys heard the clattering of the gate in that last clip, and so that's why I kind of trailed off with what I was saying. But anyways, in the next clip, you're going to see the same Michael Barden, the guy that was talking in that last clip, talking specifically now about the same technology that he was showing you the diagram from DARPA, about that diagram. And then also he was showing you the patent for it. He's going to, in this next clip, this next 3-minute and 50-second clip, you're going to see him talking more in detail, in depth, about the capabilities of this technology as far as the brain goes. And then after that, there's another clip where I made, where I found the beat that I was trying to talk to you guys about earlier on, called Pasiphae. It's called Pasiphae. And in that beat, y'all, if you look up the meaning of the word Pasiphae, you know, it's what I was talking about, a man that was cursed with a passion for a white bull, right? And then when I scrolled past the video, I saw something that said mind control, so it's creepy stuff, y'all. Yeah, on the beat they sent to me. This is the beat here, right? It's called Pasiphae. And you can see the rainbows, right? And you see it's a beat. I showed you they sent me these beats. So I said, let me look up Pasiphae. So I don't know what that means. Let me look it up. You know, I was going to write a song to it, a poem to it. When I look up Pasiphae audio, right? Oh, when I looked up Pasiphae, look at what it says. Poseidon then cursed Pasiphae to fall in love with the bull. And then shortly after that, I kid you not, they had a video that said mind control as the thumbnail. So I do believe, yes, I find this girl fascinating. She is a beautiful girl, right? I'm not a liar, right? She is an attractive woman, and I think she's very fascinating. But I think something else is going on here. Something else is at play. I really do. I strongly suspect. Even the fact that these thoughts keep pushing in my head, why is that happening? This has never happened to me before, and they have been in my brain for the last 2 years. It's just the weirdest thing ever. It's not anything weird. It's just like these, I can't even explain it. Intrusive thoughts. It's just weird. And I think there's something more at play. I'm telling you. And it's y'all, it's really scary stuff. So let me show you one more thing before I move on from this mind control thing.
This emulate of the Most High.
There's two more clips I want to share with y'all about this technology. I'm not going to share this whole video. There's a specific part of this video that I want to share. Oh boy, let me actually end the clip so I can know the part of the video, because I don't want to play the full 8 minutes. I don't want this video to be too long. So listen as a seasoned targeted vet talks about thought manipulation, y'all. Listen.
I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. Okay, synthetic telepathy is where they can use, I don't know how they do this, if it's through cell phone towers or if it's through chips, RFID chips, and I'll explain what that is, inserted into the brain. I don't know exactly how they do it, but it is basically something that can interrupt your thoughts or can insert thoughts into your thought pattern. So you're working on something, say you're typing something out, and all of a sudden a thought will go into your head that has nothing to do with what you're talking or what you're thinking about, or what you have your focus on, and that is done for several reasons: to sidetrack you from what you're doing, to make you think you're crazy, and to manipulate the remote neural monitoring. So what remote neural monitoring is basically technology being used to read individuals' thoughts. Now, Facebook has come out and let people know that they are researching this technology. There are government patents on this, and again, there is no firewall in the brain, so this is completely possible. There wouldn't be a patent for U.S.
So I'm gonna stop there, y'all. This is what they can do. Something they can set an individual up if they want to. But you heard what he said. They can use it to manipulate the results of the neural monitoring. It's just the weirdest thing ever. Why all of a sudden, why now, as soon as they start pushing this gay thing hardcore the way that they've been doing it? Ever since what happened in the gym. Remember I told you a lot of them have a problem with me now because of what I thought about that guy in the gym. But why now all of a sudden now this thing with this girl? Like, and it has not been happening for the last 2 years. I've come into contact with so many women. It's just the weirdest thing ever. Again, yes, I admit that she is a fascinating woman, whatever. I do find her attractive, but I just feel like it's the way that it's happening too, and it's just like how he described, like these intrusive thoughts where I'm thinking about something that has nothing to do with that, and then it's just popping in my head. It's just the weirdest thing ever. I've never experienced anything like it. I'm telling you, it's very odd. And I do believe thought manipulation, I suspect, is at play. I strongly believe so. So anyways, y'all, I had to share that, man. I had to share that. You know, the proof is in the pudding. They have seen my thoughts. It was even the dream. I think this is why they keep saying that the dream was sexual, because it was the nature of the dream where I grabbed her arm and then I'm feeding her water and, it's just, I don't know, y'all. It's kind of, I don't know. It seems, not to use this word, fishy. But anyways, moving on to the next thing. Y'all, I don't have time. The alarm started going off, y'all. I don't have time to finish the video, but I'm going to get to the other points later when I get off. Because I do want to talk about other stuff. Like, they started doing the pinch nose thing again because of this inmate. He started up again, this Jamaican inmate. And I'm almost certain it's because he probably heard that video Kisses to My Exes with what I was saying about my Jamaican ex. What are the odds he comes up? I've seen this inmate all the time, so many times before. Comes up to me. He's super tall. I'm sitting in a chair drawing. He's super tall. I'm wearing a mask, acting like he's pinching his nose and like he's smelling something. All of a sudden, I notice an amp up in that again, that activity with certain people. Like, and I've already proven my breath doesn't stick. I even took a live breath test on camera, y'all. But anyways, it's a lot. It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot to cover. I'm gonna talk about the rest of the stuff when I get back, y'all. There's some serious stuff is going on, man. It's wild. I'll be back. I'll finish this video after work. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, y'all, the continuation of this video is in the part 3. So I hop right into the continuation at the beginning of part 3. Actually, you're going to hear a little intro similar to the intro you heard at the beginning of this video. A very short, brief intro. And then I hop right into the continuation of the video. So tune into part 3. Peace out. Y'all, for uniformity purposes, because the part 1 video, the full title was The Villainization of the Target and Workout Update. For uniformity purposes, I'm going to show the workout update at the end of this part 2 video and the part 3 video as well, just so the title can be exactly the same. Even though, like I said at the beginning of this video, the part 2 and the part 3 are not a continuation of part 1. They just share the same theme. I'm still going to go ahead and do a workout update just so that I can really share the same theme completely. So you're hearing Villainization, documentation, how I'm kind of villainized as a target, and then you're seeing a workout update. So for those of y'all that didn't get to see my part 1 video and you didn't get to see this workout update at the end of the video, this is just a workout update, y'all. This is from December 30th. I took these pictures, and this was for my 33rd birthday. My birthday was actually on December 22nd, but I did not get to put up a birthday post until December 30th. So I made 33 at the end of last year. Sounds like when I say the end of last year, that was so long ago, but that was literally just 2 months ago. We're in February now. But anyway, y'all, I've told y'all in these recent videos that I've gained a lot of weight, right? You can see it says late B-Day post. I've gained a lot of weight since the last one. This is age 33, right? This is me now, y'all. I typically, right, throughout the years have been steadily at, I would say, 150 to 155. And when I started getting towards my later 20s, I went up to the 160s. But I never went any higher than 165, I would say, or I'll stretch it to 167. Definitely never been in the 170s, much less to be where I'm at now from consistently bulking, eating in a surplus, and weightlifting. So these pictures show the weight I was at, like I said, in December. I was like 187 in these pictures. I've gained even more weight since then, y'all. I'm 194 now, apparently. I just went to the doctor this week, right? There was something for police academy for the job, the new job, y'all, the correction officer job. But I stepped on the scale literally a couple of days ago, and apparently I'm 194 pounds now. So I weigh even more than I did in these pictures from December. But anyway, so you can see the update, right? You see the results. I'm going to show you a video of what I used to look like, right? And this video is from my early 20s. So it's a bit exaggerated because, like I told you, in my later 20s, I did get up to the 160s at least. This video I'm about to show you is, like I said, my early 20s when I was like 150, 152, something like that. But it's still just like closer to my normal weight. So you can see a comparison of what I typically look like versus what I look like now. Sorry, y'all, I need to blow my nose. I'm so sorry. Versus what I look like now from weightlifting and eating in a surplus. So anyway, these are the pictures. Let me go through them real quick. There's this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, y'all. So I'm getting some results, man. And then, excuse me, y'all. Sorry, recovering from a cold. That's not why my nose is stuffy, though. If those of y'all that are OG subscribers, y'all know that I have this chronic stuffy nose that I've dealt with since childhood. And it has something to do with like a deformity. I went to a doctor when I was younger, was told that I have like extra tissue in my nose, blah, blah, blah. My mom was given the alternative of the choice of whether or not she wanted to sign me up for surgery to get some of the tissue removed. And she gave me the choice, and I chose not to get the surgery. So my nose is always runny, y'all. It has nothing to do with the cold I'm recovering from. Two different things. Anyway, let me scroll up real quick, y'all, and show you the video of what my weight typically looks like. I usually weigh a little bit more than this, but like this is more closer to what I typically look like if I'm not eating in a surplus and working out, weightlifting, etc.
Keep going. Let's get it. This that go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation. This that opportunity. Me and
whoa, y'all, I didn't mean to I was trying to pause it, y'all. I realized I have to press my finger on the screen. I'm just trying to show y'all what was going on in the back there.
With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation. This that opportunity.
Because I even had this guy tell me, write me in my inbox, where your bonnet at? And that's island slang for where's your butt? Just to tell you, like, I've never been completely like flat, you know, like some, not to come for anyone. Everybody's built different, and you know, you gotta be happy with yourself in the way the Most High made you. But some people, it's like there's nothing back there, like it's completely flat. I've never been completely flat back there. I've always had like a very slight little something back there. But I want you to see the difference where it's not much back there versus now that I've been eating in a surplus and working out. Genetics, like, I don't know, it's a funny thing. I said this in one of my prior videos. I have 4 siblings. There's 5 of us in total. Both of my sisters have behind, like real behind, naturally. got that from my mom, and I didn't get it. It just like it skipped over me. I got hips is what I got, but I never really had much behind. I had a little something back there. And hard work is really what led to where I'm at now. So you can have whatever you want in life if you work at it. Even obtaining or attaining the physique that you want. You just have to work at it.
All I know is when feel like Gary Payton. This that process.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough, y'all. So y'all see what's going on. That's just for uniformity purposes. Like I said, I just put the update. I'm going to put it at the end of the part 3 video as well. So it will fall in line with the villainization of the target and workout update. Talk to you in the next one. Y'all tune in, like I said, to the next clip to hear the continuation of the video. Peace out.